Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Oneoff. We're going to be playing Dialect tonight, which actually I should probably get us over to straight away the Roll20 screen.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. There's a whole thing laid out here. Um, yeah. Uh, so we talked a little bit beforehand about what we're gonna do, and I kind of want to just jump into the game because in
Yep.
my experience, it's gonna take up our whole allotted time here, and I'd like to get through it. So,
Mhm.
um,
Good.
yeah, we're gonna play dialect. We are going to be an isolated community that develops its own language over time. You have little prompts and make characters. Um, so the first thing we do is pick a backdrop, which we have decided beforehand, so we don't have to argue about it.
Mhm.
Is going to be I'm going to open it up on here. Thieves Can't. Did that really open another window for me? Oh, of course it did.
Oh
Uh,
no.
Welp.
Chelsea, should we be on the same screen that you're showing
Yeah, are you not?
everybody?
Oh
No.
gosh, you're not. Here you go. Merry
Thank
Christmas.
you.
I
This
didn't
sucks.
realize that.
It's all good.
Okay. I'm sorry your bird's going crazy. Okay, so there are. Did I? It's too complicated to make the stream show this because that's just my life.
Yep.
Um,
Use the monitor capture.
that's not easier.
Yeah.
That is not easier.
It's fine. Let's just do
So
it.
there's 5 community questions that accompany each backdrop. So we are going to answer them to establish the setting and reveal details about the location. Ask each player one of the questions in order. Oh, first we should define our aspects. Actually, that I skipped a
Yep.
page. I apologize. Yeah. So for the backdrop of Thieves Can't, our three aspects are the job, eyes on us, and a free aspect that we get to choose. So we need to decide what type of shadowy job is our bread and butter.
Hmm.
Do we want
What
to
kind of
read
scoundrels are we?
the description for what Thieves Can't is?
Yeah. Why don't you read that while I see if I can get the
Okay.
page to pop up?
Yeah, I would love to read it.
Please.
I'm on reading all of it. At night, this town belongs to scoundrels like us. The shimmer of steel in the shadows, a muffled strike in the dark, the cold clatter of coin. The real challenge is hiding in plain sight. Everything that's worth anything in this town passes through the docks, and that's what we call home. We labor low throughout the day while gathering rumors, information, contacts, anything that will help us plan our next job. The most important tools for the dozen members of our crew are not our weapons, but our language. We speak in code, disguised as pleasantries and idle chatter as we move among our targets. The year is 1834, and flesh and blood is thankful for whatever work it can find in the shadow of coal and steel. Our words and weapons are how we care for our own.
Something I'm kind of imagining like a Three Musketeers setting. What do you guys feel?
Oh,
You guys feeling like gritty blaze in the dark in a city
Mm-hmm.
in a neo old fashioned Victorian cyberpunk city?
I mean, you just threw everything in there.
yep,
A neo old fashioned cyberpunk city, huh?
yep,
Cyberpunk
Victorian.
Victorian city.
yep,
Uh,
Victorian cyberpunk city,
Yeah.
yes.
apparently.
we should just, I mean, if you're gonna go that route, we should just use these these tarot cards for inspiration. Have you seen these?
No, I
The
love tarot
neon
cards,
moon
though.
tarots.
Oh,
Oh
those
my
look so
gosh.
good.
Where did these come from?
I supported a Kickstarter with this amazing art.
Oh, those are beautiful.
Oh
Yep.
gosh,
I
they're
didn't
so
even
good.
think about Cyberpunk Tarot.
Mhm.
It's so good. It's called
Great
Neon
idea.
Moon, and it's amazing.
Mhm.
It's a great idea.
So yeah, I was thinking about this a little earlier today, and I was thinking like Blades in the Dark occurs within a specific time. Hold on, I'm finding out that one of my
Gaslamp Punk. Yes, that's right. I'm down.
sorry,
That's what I'm saying.
Yep, one of my cables is plugged in at a disastrously wrong angle, and I was like, "What?" Actually, that's extremely distracting.
Fix
Is
it
not
before
there's
everything
5 other
explodes.
tables?
I'm hoping that things don't explode because it's never been at that angle before.
It probably won't. It's fine.
Yep.
Okay, so now the question is, what shadowy job is our bread and butter? So we live in this,
Like a diesel punk almost.
a diesel punk, a glass lamp fantasy, like
Yeah.
Blades in the Dark ish. So on the tone of our game, are we going for that darker, like Blades in the Dark kind of feel? Like, are there ghosts in the streets? Like,
Good question.
I feel like not ghosts, but maybe there are other supernatural things.
okay.
Are they sapiens?
Maybe some. Like I guess I just want there to be vampires for some reason.
I mean, that exists in
Okay.
Blades in the Dark too.
I know.
Vampires. But what kind of vampires? Because there's a lot of.
The sexy vampires. Look at Destiny.
Okay, so not the ugly vampires, the sexy vampires.
Why can't there be both?
Okay, that's
Well,
fair.
because there can be both, but are they the same people? Or are they both?
Both.
Yeah.
Both. Strahd or Skurlock.
Every single kind of vampire.
We're
don't
talking
know.
Alucard.
Which
Anyway.
Alucard?
We
The-
still need to decide on a job.
Specifically, the Netflix Castlevania Alucard.
Well, not the Vampire Hunter D Alucard.
I'll take that one too. Actually.
It's actually pretty creepy at the end.
Oh man. Oh, I haven't seen that in so long. Anyway, so we still need to know what our job is. What is our
So,
job?
We could be like thieves and pickpockets. We could be burglaring. We could be like smuggling. We could be confidence men and women, which could be interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, that could be
Uncle.
interesting.
All in on the vampires.
We could be vampires.
We could be vampires.
We could be smuggling vampires.
Vampires smuggling in other vampires. I don't know.
Mhm. I'm
Are
good.
the vampires the
Yeah.
leviathans of this world?
Mm.
Do you harvest us for oil?
Maybe.
Us. Mm.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, exactly. I want something that involves language, so like something like grifters is really good because like language, like if you're a burglar, then you don't do a lot of talking most of the
How
time.
does this game
I mean,
handle
you
hand
do.
signals though as part of language? Is that not a thing?
I think
Not
that-
usually, no.
Okay.
I mean, it's just a word.
And because, like, part of the point of this in specific is to be able to say something and mean something different. So, like, if we're looking at a mark, you know, they might be, you might call them something other than your mark.
And then
You
that
know.
lets everyone else know we're going to target this guy later tonight.
Right.
Or if we need to find a
exactly.
fence, or if we have like the cops on us, it's a way for us to speak in public about the stuff nobody else is supposed to know. guess.
Exactly.
So
And
it's really
so,
more about using words that already have a meaning instead of like making up like gibberish words or like
Yes, exactly. In this
Jabberwocky words.
particular um, particular place that it specifically is about taking existing words and giving them new meanings.
Hmm.
I like the idea of either thieves or like con people. So I'm just throwing that
Yeah.
out there.
Okay, yeah. I like con
maybe-
people. I like thieves. Maybe both.
We
Probably
could do
more
both.
Yeah.
towards con people, but I can do both.
Like, I was thinking like the kinds of con people who get their way into a fancy party so they can shake people's hands and slip their wristwatches off, you know?
Sure, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah?
I like that.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Okay, so we need to put that on one of these aspect cards. Let's see here. Change the name from example aspect to con people and
I just want to run the
burglars.
coat room now. Like
Yeah.
I'll like knock out whoever the coat room guy is, and then I'll just take everyone's
Perfect.
coats.
And then yeah,
Mhm.
you take all the coats and
all
then
the
all the
coats.
purses, all the wallets, and you just
And
take
Coat,
everything out of
coat
them, and then
burglars.
Nobody suspects anything to the end of the night, but then gone.
and yeah, you sneak out. Perfect. I like it.
Uh, can I just change the name of this aspect to coat burglars?
Yes.
All right, you all want to be coat burglars?
I mean,
I'm
maybe
down.
like I think it generically describes us.
All right.
Maybe we're
Or-
burglars who also wear really cool coats.
Oh, we also definitely wear really
Yeah,
cool
we
coats.
take the best coat.
100%. Yeah, that's the name of the crew. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. See?
Yes, definitely better than the sticky bandits.
All right, eyes on us. What crowded entertainment house provides relief and temporary cover when we need it? So, what is our vice den? Where do we go in our off hours to kick back, relieve stress, maybe discuss what our next target is going to be?
So many good places.
Mhm.
How
Maybe-
stereotypical do we want to be? Do we want to be like something really outlandish, or do we want to like play to the trope? Like, do we want the smoke-filled room, or do we want someplace really strange?
I was thinking like a dance hall.
I'm good with that. That sounds great.
like a speakeasy.
Yeah, a lot like a speakeasy.
Yeah, I can see that.
So maybe there's some booze going on, but people are here for the jazz and the dancing, right?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's perfect.
Where's Ferdinand? Just
I'm-
to make some coats.
I realized I need to fix something really quickly here. So, do. 1 second here. I'm gonna fix this real quick. Let's talk about the next thing.
Free aspect, the choice is yours.
Yep.
This is anything we want.
Well, I already threw out vampires as an option. Somebody else go.
I'm down with
I-
it being
I feel like-
vampires. Like,
Yeah. If there's
I have no
anything
complaints.
that's aspect worthy, it's that thing that we've already said, and we don't have it down anywhere else because it's not really.
it doesn't exist until it's on the paper.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I guess it's vampires.
So
Mhm.
many vampires.
And it's not explicit or suggested anywhere else in the backdrop itself. So it's like, this is for our game. We have to put it down.
Yeah. If we want it to be a thing, it's now a thing. Vampires.
Okay.
I'm gonna make you guys all GMs because I should have done that earlier and I didn't. So
We'll
Mhm.
have to reload, which is fine.
yeah, you'll have to
Yep.
reload, but I also had to leave out of the game, which is why I had to switch what screen we were on.
Yep.
Okay. And then this one is Speakeasy.
I'm noticing right now that all of our default Roll20 colors are a really charming palette for some reason.
To be fair,
Like pure
that is
luck.
not the default one. I always immediately, the first thing I do when I load into Roll20 is change that color.
Mine's default.
Same
But
here.
it does make a really good palette. I really like
It
it.
is
Yeah.
a nice palette, yeah. Alright, I'm gonna reload.
Oh, shoot. That should not have happened. Oh, it's because I reloaded and the window closed.
Yep.
Welp.
I don't
Oh,
think
boy.
I don't think I'm a GM yet. So
I
maybe I
think
need to
I
go
am.
all the way back.
I can move the player's ribbon, so I must be a GM.
Yep. Same here.
I'm just gonna
I'll be right
relaunch
back.
it.
Oh, come on. That's broken too. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm fixing this.
Worth it.
There we go. Now I'm good.
There we go. Nope, that's still not the right one, but it's closer than it was. There we go. There we go. I did it.
New overlays, new problems. Welcome to Twitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're not wrong. Okay.
Nope.
Everything's perfect. Don't worry about it. Nothing's broken. Nothing's on fire. Everything's fine.
Yeah, everything's fine.
So what I did was I went ahead and marked on our thing coat burglars, speakeasy, and vampires.
Mm-hmm.
And they are out here in age 1. There's all these example characters. We're going to change them to our characters. I'm going to spawn another one. Copy and paste. You can fetch new blank cards from the blank card page. But basically, I think our next...
Gotcha.
So, our next thing is going to be principles and defining aspects. When choosing the aspects, it's important to pick big ones. I think we have done this very well. Now our community questions. Okay, fantastic. So there's 5 questions. There's 4 of us. We are going to ask them and answer them in the order of Astani, Golden, me, Lavender. So let's pull this back over so everyone can see all of the questions. So please, Astani, read the first question, and you have full control over answering it.
Okay.
I think the best way to keep track of this is I'm going to add just a blank note.
Sure.
And then you can just
Go in and edit it.
right, exactly. We'll call this the community questions.
Sure. All right. So while you're doing that, I'll go and read out the first question.
Mm-hmm.
The first question is, what city's docks do we call home? And what industry keeps its gears spinning? I got a name. Let's just go with something like Gradia.
Okay.
So we are in the city of Gradia. It's Port City. Am I supposed to say any details about what I imagine Gradia is like, or do I just name it?
I'll go ahead and add a few details, I think.
I think it's like pretty far south, but like south of the equator south. So it's cold a lot of the time. It's
Okay.
like imagine like the tip of like South America or South Africa, but maybe further south.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. And the industry that keeps its gears spinning. What do we got to export something, right?
Yeah.
It's like it's definitely shipping. We export something, probably like oil. Like it's like there's a lot, it's a very oil and like fuel rich area, so there's like a lot of like those like mining towers and stuff around. Like
Mhm.
we can see
Mhm.
that in like the city skyline. And
Mhm.
they export a lot of like crude oil for, and probably have refineries and stuff too.
Cool. Awesome. Golden, you've got the next question.
Now you can hear me.
Yes.
All right. So my question says a powerful rival gang operates with impunity. Which principle that we hold sacred do they violate at every turn? So I'm going to
Mm.
steal from Bloodborne here and say, fear the old blood. Like, we like steal things with like current value, like things that we can pawn or things that are fashionable. We don't go delving into deep dark secrets of the past. These guys do.
Yeah, all right. That's a good one. If you could write that on the community questions page, that would be fantastic.
Oh, okay.
What is our white whale? That one job that will solve all of our problems, and we're always looking for an opening on it. I'm picturing there's some kind of like museum exhibit, like the Hope Diamond, or some other kind of like um, probably more modern, uh, but basically like a piece of art or a single jewel that's like it's like right there, you know. And if we could get our hands on it, though, not only would we be able to sell it for a lot, we would also get a shit ton of respect for being the crew that pulled it off.
Kelsa, I think you should name whatever that is, even if we haven't, if we don't decide what it is, it should have a name.
Oh yes, absolutely. It is called um, the Helvetica Order. That's the thing. It lives in a museum right in the center of town. People come from all over the world to see it, but we're gonna steal it. All right, Lavender. What about you?
You're muted.
I was saying that I was muted while I was muted,
Oh,
which is why
okay.
you couldn't tell me why I was muted. What is the lowest that our gang has stooped to? And then I forget what the other one was. Why can't we move on? Um, the lowest that our gang has stooped to is. I feel like we botched a job once and we had to hire assassins to just like be cleaners and like disappear them.
Oh dang.
They're dead now, and obviously you can't move on from that because we all had a hand in this and we were all responsible for it. And
Mm.
we just wanted to take their stuff, but they were a witness.
So then we took their lives.
Yep. And then I'm gonna write that down.
What was it that I said? It was the Helvetica. What now?
Order.
Order. Thank you. I wrote an O and I was like, it's not operation. Gosh dang it.
I'll go find that meme with Ariel. It says, "My name's Helvetica, Mom."
uh.
Oh, and I think what makes this more interesting and makes it even more that we can't move on is we hired the rival gang.
Ooh, interesting.
Of course. Okay. Fantastic.
Okay, I'm gonna go in and type that too.
Great. Those are our community questions. Now,
There's one more though.
Hmm?
Isn't there a fifth one?
Yes, but we only do one per player. That fifth one
Oh, I
only comes to play
see.
if we have a fifth player, which we
I see.
do not.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Names are deeply meaningful. The act of naming says something about its name and why and who does the naming. The same holds true for the isolation. Together, you'll now finish assembling your community by coming up with a name for it. Name your isolation. As a group, decide how members of the community refer to the isolation. How do we, as this small gang, refer to ourselves? If we are going to say that we are the coat burglars, I can change that card back to just saying confidence people and burglars.
I like the idea that we don't call ourselves that. That's our reputation.
What do we
That's
call ourselves?
Other people call us. But I feel like what we call each other as a word, like that means like family or friendship, and we call each other that. So we can talk about it in public, but it means something special to us, like talking about our sisters and brothers of the family, for example.
Okay.
If not that specifically.
Golden? Lavender, what do you think?
You want to use the actual family term?
I'm okay
Cousins is pretty good for gangsters.
We're just all cousins. I'm going to get the cousins together.
Not close enough, or what do you think?
That sounds good.
I'm good with cousins.
Okay. So let me look at this page real quick here. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Boop. Alright, I am going to take one more of these,
Or we could be the godparents.
godparents.
I think that's a little too on the nose.
Yeah, that's a little much. Okay,
All right.
so this one is gonna be...
Also, I decided it was important, so I named our rival gang. They're the Heartbreakers.
I love it.
Nice.
I love their name a lot.
I love it. No, that's perfect. The Heartbreakers. Awesome. All right. Create our characters. Okay, pick an archetype and then give an introduction. Let's see here.
Where do we find the archetypes?
They're going to be in this voice deck. We're each going to draw 3 cards and then pick one of them. Let's see here. Yes, everyone deals. See here. Can I just deal
Cool.
3
Just deal for
cards
everybody, right?
to all players? Deal. There you go.
Okay.
So we can all look at our hand.
We use all
can't-
3.
Can't see them. Why can't I see them?
You should be
Oh,
able
no.
to click
Actually,
right
the
up.
GM.
Even as a GM, she should be able to see them.
I can see that I have cards. I click on them. Oh, they're just
Oh.
not loading for some reason.
Your cards are
That's-
upside down. They're hidden.
There we go.
They're all showing up fine on my screen.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm just
Yeah.
having issues with it for some reason.
Yeah, I'm just saying that mainly for Kelsa, so that she's not like.
Yeah, trying to fix it.
Ah.
It's a me issue. Don't worry.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, I have 2 really good ones. I don't know which one to pick.
Ooh.
And they're like
Oh.
vastly different from each other. Can I talk about which ones I have, or are they secret?
Sure. I think we can talk about
Okay,
them.
so I got Zealot. I'm not interested in that. I got Ruler
Mm-hmm.
or Innocent,
Ooh.
and I'm interested in
Fuck.
both of those.
Yeah, and they're so different.
I know. The ruler has ultimate power in the isolation, at least on paper. Your will should always come to pass. People talk to you when they seek enforcement. The other one is, why is there so much anger? We're on all this together. If we could only just get along. People talk to you when they're worried about you. You know what? I think I'm gonna go with the ruler.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm putting it on the board, I guess.
Yeah. So my choices are Oracle. I know what's coming for us, and we believe you. Um, or the Scrounger. Something is in short supply, and only I can provide it. Or the Magician. No one understands how you accomplish what you do. You have your secrets. Those are all really good too.
They are very good.
I would love to see what other people are interested in, and then kind of like, because each one of those is like on a different kind of scale. I'd love to see what other people are, so I can see what might fit. You know?
So why did you
Yep.
put the ruler down? Because you don't want that one?
No, I put it down because that's the one I'm picking.
Oh, so you pick one? I thought you
Yes,
picked
you pick
two.
one. No, you pick one.
Oh.
So I'm putting that one down because I did not have a hard choice. The other two are like ones that I feel like play too easily into like characters that I would normally play and like have played on like other shows that we've done. So I'm just like, no, this is the one that I'm most interested in here because it ties in with like wanting to steal the Helvetica Order. Um, because for anyone who might not be able to see this or is just tabbed away in another tab, the one that I put down is the artist. The isolation has a certain charm to it, thanks to you. You keep us going when things look their darkest, and people talk to you about your masterpiece. Um, I just feel like that was the most interconnected with what we were already discussing. And then the
Nice.
other two are like the sage and the protector, and like I feel like I've played those characters before.
Mm.
I feel like if I go for what I haven't played before, I think it's probably the Scrounger. I'll take that, you know? So,
Yeah.
something that's in short supply here. We rely on you to provide what scraps of it we can get. People talk to you about getting what they need. And, Golden, what about you?
I have the Jester, the Explorer, and the Celebrity. I think the Celebrity is the hardest one because like I can see like, oh nice, we got Sean Connery to take our coats as part of a charity thing. They can only really do that once. So I think Celebrity is out.
I mean, here's the thing though. If as long as you don't get caught, you could be a celebrity.
I mean, but how many times when I'm in the coat room and all this stuff goes missing, did I not put two and two together? I mean,
But you're a celebrity. How dare they accuse you? Don't they know who you are?
oh,
I'm just
I
saying,
just
if
think
you want to be that, you can make it work.
I could just like, throw. I'm pretty good with nonsense. I could nonsense anything, but let's. I don't think so.
Mhm.
The Jester is good if I can make you guys laugh. Usually I can, but
Yep.
I
That's
like
accurate.
Explorer because Explorer means I don't have to make any hard choices right now. The difference is that the Jester is that people talk to you when they need cheering up, and the Explorer is people talk to you about the unknown. I'm curious, which one do you want to hear people talk about? Want to be cheered up, or do you want mystery?
Well, you've already said that we don't really delve into mystery all that much.
Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of leaning into Jester just because I feel like it takes the tone of our group in a different direction.
I feel like the Jester is the right choice for the
Yeah.
Coatman
I think
because,
Jester's a good idea too.
like, he's
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
outside the party,
Mm-hmm.
and people will come and talk, that need cheering up, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Whereas Explorer is like maybe better for a more long form exploration of this.
Mhm.
Okay. So yeah, we each give like a little outline of our character and what aspects we're going to focus on. On the bottom of your card, it says what aspects that you connect to. So I identify with two aspects, and one of them is the cause of the scarcity. So, and one of our aspects is the cause of the scarcity, and I identify with two aspects. I think definitely I'm going to identify with the speakeasy aspect. But the question is, what do we think is our scarcity here? I'm curious, what am I able to hook you guys up with that nobody else can?
Maybe you're our fixer.
Yeah?
You scrounge up jobs for us.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. Um, interesting.
It's just a long list of coat. What do people did they take your coat? Just people that you hate. Like, people that have lost your coat. People that just completely rude
Mhm.
or insist on a tip when you just don't think they deserve one. Nah.
But so what you're saying is that jobs are in short supply.
Yeah. And we need you to help us get jobs because I mean we got that rival gang and like the cops are breathing down our necks. We need to know what jobs are safe to go on that we're not going to get caught or we're going to have to murder some people again. We need you.
Man.
Well,
Are they also after the coats?
Yeah, they're our rivals.
Ah.
so here's the thing: is that I think the second aspect I identify with is vampires, and also vampires are the reason that jobs are so scarce.
Okay.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm also definitely identifying with vampires because I am one.
Because you are one.
Well, see, maybe that's it. The reason why jobs are so scarce is because some or all of the gang is vampires, and it's really hard to get a job when you're a vampire.
Yeah.
Why though?
So I don't think that I am a vampire, but I'm still affiliated with vampires, and maybe is like your connection, Estania, if not whoever else is vampires. Like I'm like your day person, you know?
Okay, sure.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea that vampires can't work. Like, they're just like inherited wealth and power. And they don't know how to do anything but tell other people what to do.
That too.
I mean, that's why I'm the ruler vampire, right?
It's true.
That's really good.
Let's see. Identify with two of the aspects, and then I think one of the aspects is undermining you. So that could be any of the aspects, even if I identify with it, right?
Yes.
I think I have to identify with coat burglars because I'm a ruler of the coat burglars.
Mm.
But I'm also worried that there are those in the coat burglars who are undermining me.
Yep.
Under your what?
What?
Said there are people in the cult burglars.
Oh, they're
who are
undermining me.
Undermining you. Okay.
Yeah, like subverting me, working against me.
Oh, I understand.
Okay.
Okay. So Golden, what about you?
I think, yeah, obviously I'm pretty into the cult burglar thing, so I'm gonna take that as one of my aspects. Are we writing this down somewhere? I don't know. And then, I think the one my character thinks is ridiculous is the speakeasy.
Mm.
I think he is good in small crowds, but is not like part of the party. Like he does not perform. Let's see here. So I could either go with vampires or cousins.
Well, cousins is not one of the aspects. There's the three aspects.
Oh,
Are
so I do go with vampires. Okay,
Yeah.
'Cause I was like,
Cousins is what we are called. Like, that's what
yeah,
we
like
call
it's
ourselves.
hard.
Yep.
It was hard to say that I wasn't super attached to other members of my gang. That'd be weird.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense then. Cool. So I don't know if I'm a vampire because I want to be able to blend in. I think it's hard for vampires to blend in. Also, vampires don't work, but I have some connection to vampires.
Sure. What about you,
Maybe
Lavender?
I'm just really good at making them laugh.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to make your thing about the speakeasy so much worse because the two aspects I identify with are being a vampire, because I'm a vampire, and I'm the vampire who curates all of the art in the speakeasy, and I've made it into this incredibly bougie space by also
Yeah.
like gallerying it. Um, and it's really it's enough to have art in a speakeasy. You really don't want your speakeasy to turn into a gallery, though. Unfortunately, our speakeasy has also turned into a gallery where people are also dancing.
Love it.
Yep. I have a very specific vision for this place.
I see that.
And then one of these aspects is my muse. The coat burglars. I'm so like every time we do a job, I abruptly change all of the art in the exhibit to reflect our score in some way.
I love it.
Yep.
So now we're going to give some real introductions. We need to have our names.
Yep.
And your name is going to have two parts. Your common name, this is like the name you're commonly known by, probably the name given to you by your parents. This is what's on your legal paperwork. And then what only some call them. So this is your, like, within the cousins, your secret name. This is your moniker. This is your I can't think of the word now.
Vampire name?
Alias. That's it. Your vampire name.
Yep.
Then your role in the isolation. We've all kind of talked about our roles a little bit. And then explain a little more detail your relationships, the aspects. So I think I need to start with my name and my other name. So oh gosh, why did I volunteer to start? Please, I'm the worst at names. Somebody, anybody save me.
Oh, you got to pick from a list.
I can name myself.
Yes, name yourself.
In life, my character was Rin Gale, and I'll spell that in a second, but I'm just saying it right now. But as a vampire, my name is Araxa.
I'd also like pronouns for all of our characters as well.
Okay. I think. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to edit this token or change my name.
Double click on it, and then where it says example name, you just type that in there.
Thank you. So I think when I was alive, my character was a he, but now that I'm dead, my character's a she. So Roxa is a she.
Sure. All right, I named myself. I came up with names. My legal name is Gladys Faint, but I'm mostly known as Gopher. When you need something, you call a gopher, and it goes for it and comes back. And sure, sometimes what you need is a job, but you call for me for that too. Like, I also get you some coffee or some highly caffeinated blood, whatever you need.
I've got mine.
Yeah.
So, I imagine I'm a foreign-born vampire. So my name is a bit foreign compared to everybody else's. My name is Vitaly. Um, but some, mostly the vampires that I've created, call me Sire.
Mm.
I'm a he slash they.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna speak in an accent. Enjoy it.
Of course.
Nice.
Wouldn't expect or want anything different, really.
All right. And Golden, what about you?
I'm gonna say that his um his normal name is Janil. But everyone thinks he died or became a vampire. So this is literally my dead name. Don't call me by it. You call me Boston.
Okay.
Ooh.
Boston it is. I think we all talked about our relationship to our aspects, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. We're now ready to actually start playing.
Woo! We did it. It only took us an hour.
And it only took us an hour.
RPGs.
So now we switch decks from the deck we were doing to the other deck.
Oh, should we
Show that deck.
get
Hide that
rid
deck.
of the cards that we're not using? Because we're
In
gonna be
your
drawing
hand?
cards. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get rid of those cards.
All right. I'm just gonna drop them down and delete them.
Okay. And I'm going to shuffle the story deck. Okay. 3 age 1 cards to all 3 players. 3. There we go. All players. There we go. Okay. A turn revolves around playing cards from the language deck. This deck is divided into cards by each age and the number by the number on the back of the card. So the turn in Dialect has 3 phases. First, make a connection. Pick a card from your hand and tie it to one of the aspects of the current age. Describe why this aspect has led to the new word for based on the concept on the card, and use this connection to build new details into the world. Then we build a word. Construct a new word or phrase for the concept based on the connection you just made. This is handled communally. Suggestions can come from anyone at the table. On your turn, you write the word on an index card and place it near its aspect. Then we have a conversation. Set a scene and hold a conversation in character inspired by the prompts at the bottom of the card. Play out the conversation until all characters in the scene make their relationship to this new word. Clear. Make this relationship to the new word clear. I can read. Certain cards, designated as action cards, bend the normal flow of play. These may result in words changing, being generated through alternative means, or even leaving the language. When you've finished your turn, draw a card for the next age. So, in other words, draw an age 2 card if you're in age 1, age 3 card during age 2, and you will not draw cards during age 3. After each player has taken a turn, we'll move to the next age. So we begin. Would you all like me to go first, or does anyone else want to try?
I would be down to go first.
Lovely, because I haven't had a chance to look at my cards at all yet.
Cool.
I'm just confused, so you go first.
I really want to play this card because I feel like it ties it nicely to finishing up Consumed.
Mm.
Filler word.
Oh no.
Sometimes we need to fill the air and stall for time. The unique way of gathering space to speak is particular to us.
Okay. So you're going to get one of these and one of these. This is what you're going to put the name of the word on when we decide it. And this is what we're going to put the translation on. So since we already know the translation, you can fill that out. And they'll go next to each other. What aspect is this filler word related to?
I was wanting to tie this to the coat burglars because I feel like if we're pretending to take people's coats and then stealing them, um, there's a word. There's like some word that I want to develop there that's like particularly rooted to this being our cover job or something. Like I feel like being coat takers has like a little bit of fertile ground for like making a new word, so I want to tie this to coat burglars.
So explain why this aspect has given rise to a new word or phrase for the concept on the card. Why is it that our jobs as coat burglars have made us change the way we pause for time?
Okay, cool. I feel like there's a there's a little bit of time, like we have to wait for more people to come in so that we can take their coats. Um, if we're talking to each other, we're probably talking to each other in front of people. Those are like the kinds of things that I'm thinking of, but that's really vague. I need some help with this.
Okay. Like I guess I'm trying to say like what. So like having a filler word is awesome, and having it be unique to our gang and being the coat burglars and but specifically us doing confidence work and stealing stuff, burglary. Like there's something about that that makes us have this unique word. Like if it was tied to vampire, it might be a little bit more straightforward because it's like, oh, when you have fangs, it changes the way your mouth works or whatever.
Yeah.
And if it was tied to the speakeasy, maybe it has something to do with being on a dance floor or around a
The
bar all
loud
day.
music.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But like specifically about being these confidence men and women and stealing coats, that's what is this filler word. So like is it something that like we've picked up from just being at all of these parties, like
Mhm.
something like that? Like
Yeah, I actually that you saying that kind of sparked a couple of ideas for me. I feel like there are so many like pleasantries that we have to like go through to like greet people and take their coats that I feel like this, because it isn't the next part of this turn that we start talking about what the actual word is.
yes.
Yeah, then I'm remembering correctly. So I feel like the word is like some combination of different pleasantries, or it's like welcome but like clipped or something. So I was almost thinking of like oakum, or like combining oakum with like something
We'll
else that
worry
you would say.
about that in a second, but basically taking all of these pleasantries has made us like adapt that into our lexicon. Okay, I like
Yep.
it. No, that's great.
Yep.
Now it is time to add a new piece of language to our world. We do this by taking two steps. First, use the connection from the previous phase to build a new word or phrase, and then we're gonna add the new language item, just put it out there. So it's a freeform discussion. All players may contribute, but you, the player who made the connection, will be the final call on what joins the language. Guide the
Yep.
discussion and feel free to tell others what type of word you're looking for. And so, like you were
So I
saying
just
about like,
started here. Yep. I'm done for now. I want to hear what other people have to contribute.
So the idea I'm having is that it needs to be like a word that means improvise, because we don't need to fill a few seconds. We need to fill minutes of time, right? So it's like a word that says, okay, we need to stall for minutes of time. Another thing I feel like is like it's a word that we need to repeat a lot. Like we need to be able to use it maybe as a suffix or it modifies another word. Maybe like you might imagine like an accent might make uh you be more long-winded. This is the same kind of thing.
Mm.
Hmm.
That's really cool. That's giving me more ideas.
I like the idea of like okom or something where it's taking a welcome and abbreviating it. Something I was thinking something along the lines of like just repeating like sir or madam like a bunch like it almost incessantly. That is definitely like a filler word that I have seen
Oh,
people use, you know.
that's giving me
Yep.
the idea for like Syrah, which people use instead of sir.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I kind of like the sound of that, and like throwing that in as one would use like or whatever. I could kind of
Yeah,
hear
yeah.
that in my head.
Yep. I was thinking about that too. With Golden mentioning like having to tell other people in the gang how many minutes of time that we need to stall for, I was almost thinking of like the thing is that I'm having trouble with is that it's like several different words because I'm thinking of like two-cum or like three-cum or four-cum, and it's like
Well, I
you're
don't.
saying how many minutes of time that you're needing to stall for, or
I mean, maybe it's just like the number of times you use it in a sentence. Like if
Well,
it's
Mm.
just come, it's like come with me.
yeah,
You need to take your coat.
yeah,
Okay, come over here. Come see the heart.
but
yeah.
is that really like a filler word at that point because you're using it not as a
Yeah,
filler word?
I
It's
mean
true.
that is a filler word if you use it like that.
You say come over here, that's a verb.
Or like a direction.
I mean, you're using it to stall for time to think of something else to say. Like
You're not adding, and like the third or fourth time you're saying it, you're not adding anything to the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But the question is, if we're using this word specifically to uh, count out how long we need to do for it, is that still a filler word at that point? Because then
Yep.
you're not using it to just stall for time. It's a little idiom that slips in, like when you say like all the time, especially when you're from California. Um, that's slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of I like the idea that it's tied to who we are and the circles that we run in, but
Mm-hmm.
I do think it is important to keep it as a filler word. It's something that we've picked up as a filler word, and it's not necessarily a tool in our toolbox. It's just something that we have started to say because of who and what we are.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is it a filler word we've appropriated, or is it a word that means something, but to us it's a filler word?
Like
To
I
us,
could,
it's a filler word. Sorry.
I was gonna say, like I could see "come" being like that, or like
Mm-hmm.
"Sarah." Like we're not. It's just like a pleasantry that we say and we repeat, trying to like keep people happy and stall for time, and it's like defaulting back to our plastic customer service face.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I like either come or Syrah. I'm down for either one of those, and I could see either one being a filler word, like going like come, let's do this. Like
Mm-hmm.
you saying that to like buy time to figure out what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
And
So
also
I
mentioning like the uh, Igor kind of. I'm sure he would have some kind of filler word that he would repeat a lot.
yeah. I think I have a final decision. I'm going to make the word circum, so I'm combining Syrah and welcome into just like this blur of like, because we said both of these words to different people so many times that it's just merged into one. And then like when people actually come in, they're like, "Wait, what did you actually say?" And then the moment passes.
Right, right. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would write those things down,
Yep.
and then the prompt at the bottom of the card says someone is left speechless. So you get to frame a scene based around that prompt and tell us who is in that scene.
Mm-hmm.
You may
And
choose
then
yourself, but you do not have to.
yep. And then in this little other token, you want me to like say what this means or say that it is a filler word or
You continue the scene until we have established our relationship with the word. So either said it ourselves or like, you know, made a scoff remark, but like, I can't believe you just said that again or whatever.
no, I mean in the roll 20.
Oh,
Yeah, how with the tokens,
so
there's
they
two of these
should
things here.
be here, and so this is the this is the word, and then this is the translation of the word. So you would put filler word, you know.
There we go. Thank you.
Perfect, flawless.
I want to see. So remind me who. I want everyone who identified with the aspect of being coat burglars in the scene.
So I did.
Yep.
Not it.
Not it either. If that doesn't add up to 2, then I can.
It's me and Estany.
Okay.
I want you 2 in the scene.
Okay.
And then do I have to
Players
direct?
who will be in the conversation will first answer 2 questions. Where are we? Establish where the conversation will take place. And what are we doing? Say what the participants are doing as the conversation starts. The participants then will then demonstrate their relationship and to the newly defined word. All participants in the conversation should either use the word, conspicuously avoid using it, or explore a shade between. Once all characters in the conversation have shown their relationship to the word, the prompt is resolved and anyone at the table may end the scene.
Where do you think we are?
Well, I feel like we're on the job, right?
And we
I
could
kind of
be.
want to say that we're in the coat room and we're disposing of the old coat man.
Disposing?
Yep.
Okay,
I mean,
you know what? You know
how-
what? There's 2 holes in his neck.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, how do we dispose of this? Are we like
We can hide him in the
just
coats we don't want.
put him in the coats we don't want?
Yeah.
And just leave him there? Is he gonna
Yeah.
wake up? Do people wake up after this?
Depends.
Okay.
It's been known to happen. It's been known to not happen.
What if my question of if he's gonna wake up is in character?
Yeah, sure.
Sure, go for it.
So I feel
Then
like
I'm gonna just say that. I'm just gonna kind of shrug and say, "It's been known to happen. It's been known to not happen."
you must have done this before.
Boston, do not worry pretty head about this. Now we hide him in the coats, okay?
Alright. So we like swing him in, and then we're like, last year's fashion goes on top of him.
Yes, absolutely. Good. I do not think I don't think anyone will see him there.
No, no, nobody's gonna find him.
No, you're good to work code check, yes?
Oh, of course. I'm like brushing off some dust. That's what I'm here for.
Okay, they are going to be coming in 30 minutes, so you need to be ready.
You see, that I'm just like visibly relaxing myself.
Do not worry, Boston. You've done this many times. I have utmost confidence in you.
All right, you're right. I just have to circum a bit.
Okay? I don't know what that means, but okay.
What are you going to be doing?
Well, I am going to sneak out the back before anyone sees me.
Oh, okay. You'll meet me when it's time to get to loot.
I will be back after I have seen everyone go in, and there's like a hefty bubble where everyone is at party, getting drunk, eating food, and then
All
I
right.
come in, we get loot, we get out.
I'll wait for you. I'll just keep doing the cult thing. Nothing suspicious until you show up.
All right, I will be back. Anything else to see?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, perfect. That was a great scene.
Yeah, that was
We
cool.
can discard this filler word. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Delete. All right, I'll go next. Ooh. I've got two really good ones. I don't know why it's even a question. It's a term of endearment.
Ah, so good.
An affectionate name to call someone in the isolation. Using this word is deeply meaningful and we'll remember the first time we say it.
Interesting.
I kind of want to connect this to the speakeasy because that's kind of like our it's like our vice den. It's our downtime. It's our relaxation. So I think this term of endearment is most closely tied with that. So we need to talk about what kind of a word we want to make out of this. So
Can I
let's
say
see.
where my brain immediately went?
Yes, please.
So I immediately thought of like, okay, what might you call someone who's really good at dancing? You might call them a butterfly flitting about on the dance floor. So I'm thinking like a butterfly or flit or something like that, or something along those aspects.
Ooh. I kind of like flit a lot because like I feel like
Yeah.
it's something that sounds almost dismissive or derogatory, but to our group it's exactly the opposite of that, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. I feel like there's so much waiting that's such an active word.
Yeah,
I love it. Okay.
that was fast.
That was fast. I was that easy.
Making a language is easy. Who knew?
Right. Yeah, exactly. Flit. Come here. Copy. Paste. Get over here. Okay. Okay. I know how to spell. Flawless victory. All
Mhm.
right, we need a tender moment shared in secret. Estini, will you join me for this scene?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Where are we?
I think we're in the speakeasy.
That makes so much sense. But are we like in a private booth? Are we like back in the office or something?
I think we're dancing.
Even better. Now it says this moment is shared in secret. So
Because it's secret because like we're whispering in each other's ear.
okay.
I
Okay.
think.
Okay. It's not a secret that we're dancing. It's a secret that we're whispering in each other's ear.
The tenderness is secret. The dancing is not. The dancing's not super tender, except the secret parts of it that are.
Of course. That's right, sire. That is correct. Do I call you that, actually, as a non-vampire? Do you prefer that title, or may I call you Vitali?
I think you call me Vitaly. Yeah.
Vitali. Okay. Where are we? What are we doing? We're on the dance floor. We're dancing. Yeah. So I lean up, because I picture you're taller than I am.
Sure.
And I'm like, we hardly get to dance together, Vitali. It's really nice.
It is always business. Sometimes it is nice to just cut loose, you know?
You're much more. And she like moves around like a little extra in the dance. Limber dancer than I expected.
What, do you expect me to be stiff old man?
I expected you to be respectable.
It's just a facade like everything else. I'll pull you a little closer.
Mm-hmm. She leans up a little bit, like you pull her closer and she leans closer,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, "Is this a facade too?"
Do you want it to be?
I'd really prefer if it wasn't. But I don't want you to lie to me, Vitaly.
If nothing else, there has always been honesty between us. Do I call you Gopher or Gladys?
I mean, I think it depends on the situation.
I think at this moment I call you Gladys.
Mm.
On the job I call you Gopher. So there's always been honesty between us, Gladys, if nothing else, and I would not say there is nothing else between us.
And I think this is like the moment that like the music does the thing and you like let me out in a big spin, like lean
Yeah.
back or whatever, and then we come back together. And like the song is like about to end, like that was like the finale or whatever. And just before we split off, and I'm like, I'd like to see you flirt with me again.
I lean in, like, real close to your ear, and I say, I will let you flit circles around me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where we end it.
Yeah, I think so. Good deal.
Cute.
Awesome. Also, I need to
Oh, yeah, because we were supposed to be drawing cards.
yeah, I'm gonna give one to Lav and then one to me.
Oh,
Thank you.
All right. That was my turn. So I think next is going to be, if we're going to go kind of clockwise, Golden.
okay. So I got cards. I think I will go with worry. I think the worry is that the vampires are going to drink our blood. Even the other vampires.
That doesn't sound like a.
That's not what you're worried about.
That doesn't sound like something I'd be worried about.
No.
Only a little. Just a little. Come, give me a taste.
So I guess we need a word for that.
What is so it's going to be tied to the vampires, or is it tied to something else about the vampires, I guess?
I feel like it's tied to vampires, but
Yeah, I think it's tied to vampires.
Yep.
Okay.
Do I need anything else? I need to.
okay. So now we are going to talk about what word you want to make.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, why is it that we have a specific no, never mind. Why is it that we have a specific word to worry about vampires sucking your blood? I answered my own question. I answered my own question.
Because there's a gang of vampires,
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
and we get thirsty. Okay.
Okay.
We're best friends with vampires. The people that want to beat us up are vampires. People we're stealing from are vampires.
What you're saying
A lot
is
of
there's
vampires.
a lot of vampires
Like-
going around. Okay.
Mhm.
Our romantic interests might be vampires.
Some of them
Like-
definitely are vampires.
Yeah. And it's like the vampires are never like, no man, I won't drink your blood. They're always cagey about it.
Okay.
I won't drink it much. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Just a little bit. Okay, so yeah, let's have a discussion about what kind of word is this. Do we want to repurpose a word, combine a couple of words together, clip a word or a phrase
Just
down?
cagey.
Just cagey? It's getting cagey in here. I don't know. Like
Yeah, it's
repurpose.
really cagey.
Doesn't KG already kind of mean that though?
Yeah, but we need to repurpose it so that it means that I'm worried rather
Mhm.
than they're troublesome. You know what I mean?
Yep. Exactly.
Or you guys got ideas? Yeah, I have more ideas. What are you talking about?
I'm trying to think of like a couple of like a combination of words, like maybe not using the word worry itself, but maybe some other synonym.
Synonym.
So
Hold on,
I'm
Wow,
sure
talking's hard.
I'm pulling up the thesaurus.com right now.
Mhm.
Cheater.
Doubt. Whoa is a good one. Especially if we combine that with something else, like something whoa
Nettling?
at the end.
Again, nettle, you're worrying.
Mhm.
But we want to make sure that it's something that we can talk about. We're afraid of being eaten by vampires around the muggles who don't know vampires exist, right?
Are there muggles?
I feel like there are, like,
yeah, there probably are. I think vampires is like it's the
it's part of being the isolation. Vampires are
yeah.
secret. They're part of the criminal underground.
Okay.
Ooh, trial is a good word. That's a synonym for worry or trouble.
That might be a little bit.
I pictured it more of a like I am worried as opposed to I have a worry. I don't know.
I think trial's a little bit
You can say I'm trialed.
cross suspicion a bit much.
Mhm. I was when Estanie read "woe," I was thinking of like "woe" WOE, but as like an interjection.
Like,
Just like,
whoa, unto me, or something like that.
yeah, exactly. It's an abbreviation of that.
Ooh. Just stress, but get rid of the dis and just put trust.
Tress.
That
On
vampire's
trust.
wool thirsty.
That's not really secret though.
Like, okay. What is a good phrase to mean that I myself would make a good snack and actually that bothers me a little bit?
What
Like
if we take snack but put something else in front of it to imply that it's an unwilling snack?
Mm,
unwilling snack. Oh. Huh.
cocoon, but the chrysalis is a little bit long.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be a short word.
That's true.
Can we use chrysalis in a conversation?
I mean, if we
I
make
don't
it
think so.
to be, but it would be a little awkward. Like, chrysalis is not something you
Yeah.
normally say. But maybe,
Mhm.
is there like a word for, um, hmm, there's not really. So we need some kind of worry word. Hmm.
So worry is such a useful word. Why would I need any other words? Let's look at that thesaurus.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
What if we do something a la hangry, where it's
For that.
hunger but combined with worry,
Mhm.
and we're
Mm.
worried about the hunger?
Oh, I like Vex.
Good one too.
What do you think about Vex?
Vex.
Yeah, you have the V there that alliterates with vampire, so it's like code. I'm trying to get like,
And yeah, I think like context would help too. Like, I'm just really vexed right now, and then just like a pointed look to the nearby
yeah,
vampire.
yeah, exactly.
Mm-mm. I like it.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think we can use Vexed and it's like underused word, but I think we
Yeah,
can still use it.
and also because it doesn't, vexed usually means like you're angry or upset about something. It doesn't really mean worried. So we are repurposing a word to mean something else very specific.
mhm,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Like other people wouldn't necessarily know our emotional states, so it might also mislead them.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
exactly.
I like it. All
Cool.
right, let's go with Vexed or Vex, or just whatever.
Cool.
So I take
I made the cards for you right here.
awesome. Oh, there's two of them. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Because one of them you're gonna put worry on, and the other one you're gonna put vex on.
Okay. Oh, that's a translation.
They're both just don't worry about it. Just one is one and
Okay.
the other's the other. Don't worry about it. Uh, then who do you want to see a scene?
All right, so you guys seem to be like doing things related to aspects. Is that based on one of these handouts?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so what are you talking about related to the aspects?
Like the scenes that you were picking were like related to people
No,
and what aspects they have? No, it's not.
no.
So I just pick whatever.
yeah.
Yes.
The
Yeah, yeah.
part where you tie it to an aspect is related to the word itself, and then like kind of naturally from that, people are just like in that headspace already.
Oh,
So then like
okay.
when they're deciding the answers for the questions about where they're setting a scene, they're just like, of course we're like taking people's codes because that word is connected to co-burglars.
Right.
All right. Um. hmm, So I want to see Adam's character. That's Rexa. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yep.
And you're a vampire, right?
Yeah, I am.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see how two vampires react to this. I'm gonna say. I don't
Would we
use.
use the word vex though? Because would we express worry about getting sucked dry by vampires?
Maybe in relation to other people. Maybe you're
Oh,
concerned about
that's
Gladys and
true.
Boston.
That's fair. Good.
Hmm.
Oh, that's cool too.
Where are you?
Raxa, where are we?
I think we're not inside the speakeasy. That's the word for it. Jesus Christ. Um, we're not inside the speakeasy, but we're outside of it. I don't really. I'm not too particular about how far away it is. Um,
Maybe there's uh, a boardwalk or something nearby, and we're like looking over the water.
yeah, getting to see more of the city sounds good. I'm imagining
I
that
mean, there's
there's.
definitely
Yep.
docks. That's part of this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
part of how this
Yep.
works.
Mhm.
I'd love to see more of this city. Like so far, we have seen the inside of a coat room, and the dance floor, and that was a
Mhm.
zoom in, real close, on
Mhm.
a
Oh,
couple of
Yeah.
people dancing. So, please describe for me more about how this city looks. I'd love to know.
Yep.
Well, it's nighttime, obviously.
Yep. So imagine every landscape illustration you saw in the Blades in the Dark book, where there's all these like darker silhouettes against like a kind of dark gray black sky. But instead of like buildings and things, you're seeing all of these like tilting back and forth oil rigs and like the spires in the background that are pulling oil out of the ground on the other side of this inlet. And there are also some in the water as well, sucking oil out of the water.
I also think we see like a lighthouse off to one side,
Mm-hmm.
and I imagine like the railing along the boardwalk is kind of um like there's staggering like lamp lights, like lamp posts, so people don't like can see that there's like a border there and don't just go tumbling into the water.
Yeah, that sort of thing would be really important. I'm also seeing, um, I think the two of us specifically are staring at this one ship that is stuck between two oil needles, and it has to make this turn without like destroying this entire city and sending fire everywhere, but it's stuck in between the two, and it's trying to make this turn into dock. And there are like a bunch of other people out in the water trying to like help direct things and pull them through, and it's kind of scary actually.
I'm just watching with morbid curiosity. I imagine like I've got a really long fancy coat on with the collar turned up. I imagine it's like cold and windy.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I'm also like smoking a pipe and
Yep.
just watching this.
I feel bad for them that they have to be so scared.
Is a part of mortal life, I suppose.
We have our own problems to deal with. I guess the scales must tip. Speaking of that, how is your I caught you
You
with
got me.
Gladys?
Uh, what do you think you got me doing?
I don't know, dancing.
Oh, he's
It
crying
sure
to
looked like
dance now.
dancing.
He's crying to dance with beautiful lady.
Yes.
Whatever you say, Roxa.
The word beautiful lady pretty much told me all I needed to say. So you do care about her.
She is a beautiful lady.
pains me to have to say this next. The Heartbreakers are expanding their turf. I mean, that's no surprise, but they're expanding it in our direction. That's the real problem.
He's not surprising with the information you've already given me.
Yeah.
What do you think we should do about it?
I don't want to do anything too conspicuous, but Gladys might be vexed in a little bit, and that's what I want to avoid. I'm going to keep her safe, and I want you, since you're closer to her, to keep her safe as well.
I will, of course, keep her safe. If she is going to become a proper cousin, I want that to be her decision, not something the Heartbreakers force upon her.
And Roxa nods.
I mean, you remember I gave you the choice.
I remember that. I remember that. That was good.
And I turn back and I look at the ship, and there's just like bells ringing as they're trying to direct the ship. And he just watches for a moment and says, "Do you ever regret it? Do you think you made the right choice? Not that there's any going back now."
And Roxa looks to the side, but not for very long, and she says, I absolutely I did.
Okay, I'm good there.
Yep.
If you're good.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Good scene. Love it. All right. I already gave Golden his new card. Astani, it is your turn. I should probably
Money.
look at what my card is. money.
Oh.
Nah, you were ready.
Yeah.
I was hoping this one would come up.
I don't know if it should be tied to the coat burglars or the vampires, but it's one of those two.
You gotta pick.
Money. So funny.
I'm willing. Can I hear suggestions from you guys though, or do I have to pick without input?
I mean, you can solicit us for suggestions, I guess, but it's ultimately your decision. So
Yeah. Because I guess I like the idea of the coat burglars having their own code for money, because it kind of ties into the whole crimes things.
Oh yeah,
But
totally.
Vampires having their own word for money would be interesting because we're so like long lived, and I mean, Golden was pointing out we don't work and we're independently wealthy anyway. Why the heck do I have a confidence group? Who knows? But would money
You
have
need
the
to
same
steal
meaning for
things
us?
that don't
Are beautiful and
that
belong.
Yeah, no,
You have
exactly.
to
It's
give
not about stealing
Roxa
for
her
money.
inheritance, and you're not gonna die.
Right.
But also, I like the idea of we covet the beautiful things that other people have,
Oh yeah.
and so we want them for ourselves, not necessarily to sell. Some selling, but also, I just really want a diamond for my foyer.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, exactly.
That's very true.
Nice.
The one other thing that I'm thinking of that was for some reason really obvious to me, but I don't think is like coming out to other people that much, is I'm thinking about like vampire blood tithes, where we suck the blood from the mortals, but if there's like other vampires that are above you, they're also sucking your blood out of you. So it creates this hierarchy of vampires where the vampires with more blood are more powerful and stuff like that.
That is also kind of what I was thinking
Yeah.
with the vampires, because I was basically getting at conventional money
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't matter to us. So what is our currency? And the idea of it being blood ties is interesting. So
I'm surprised you weren't worried about diablerie.
Mm.
But apparently it's not a worry, so that's cool. If it's not a worry, though, would you really worry about each other's blood? Would it have any value to it at all?
What do you mean by diablerie specifically?
Oh, it's a term from Vampire the Masquerade where you basically, by drinking another vampire's blood, you get their XP.
Gotcha.
It's how you become, like, if you were to consume your sire's blood, then you would gain your sire's power. Assumedly, the older the vampire, the more powerful.
Yep.
Well, I mean, kind of, yeah. Actually, like, that is what she was describing.
Yeah,
That,
that's what she was describing. That's why I
yeah.
said it's interesting. I weren't worried about that.
I mean,
So
it
if
wasn't.
you're not
I
worried about
may be
that,
worried about it, but that wasn't what our conversation was about.
okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna tie it to vampires. I think that's more interesting. I want to
Yep.
talk about that. A word for that sort of blood hierarchy,
Yep.
basically.
Mhm.
I would recommend stitches or stitching
Oh,
because you can talk
that's
a
a
lot
cool
about
one.
sewing and stitching and about coats, but the metaphors are easy.
But it's not tied to the coat burglars, though. I
But
think
it's a
if it
word the
was,
coat burglars use about vampires.
yeah, but if it was tied to the coat burglars, I feel like that would make more sense. I don't know.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right,
definitely.
because like stitching and fabric and stuff too. Got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, it is in the surgery sense.
Yeah. And I was also thinking of like it's the way the vampire community is. You can't just like ignore each other. Is these different vampires that are like in this hierarchy, and like the hierarchy is very specific, where specific vampires take blood from specific other vampires. Um, the other word I was kind of thinking of was like blood trail, because the blood trail is also kind of a thing, but it also like blood trails like converging and like whose blood goes to whom,
Mm.
that sort of
Mm.
thing.
In what circumstances do vampires drink each other's blood?
I think it can be like forced on others. Like someone could definitely jump you in an
Mm.
alley and try to drain your vampiric blood to try to get stronger. But I feel like traditionally it's something that a superior demands of a subordinate to show subservience, or a superior might reward a favored follower with their own blood, that kind of
It's
thing.
like a tithe.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'm, I was thinking of tithe.
Tithe is a good word. Tithe is a good word.
I think I'm gonna go with tithe. What tithe can buy here? Um,
Mm.
I want Gopher in this scene,
What's up?
and I want Boston in this scene. I want our two non-vampires talking about tithes.
Of course, of course. Where are we?
Hmm. I want to say we are on the roof of a church, and there's like pigeon cages.
Okay. I want to say it's definitely daytime.
Makes sense.
So maybe
I
we're
feel like
feeding these pigeons? Are these our pigeons?
I think they are. I think they're messenger pigeons. I think Boston
Yeah.
has a letter.
Okay. I think Gopher maintains the carrier pigeons. Boston uses them. It feels like our dynamic, to me at least.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, do you think that Boston has a soft spot for pigeons? Does he care about them deeply?
It's not something I considered. Um. I don't think so.
Okay.
I think like he respects life, but he
Sure.
wouldn't be cruel to the pigeons. But I don't think he's a pigeon enthusiast.
Gotcha. Um, yeah, so Gopher is like um tossing in some pigeon feed in the coops. And then like Boston comes up and she's like, oh Boston, you'd use the birds then.
And a message just sent. Are you alright?
Me?
And I go over to like one of the pigeons.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Circum, no problem. Right,
That's
like,
good.
let's just go back to doing some stuff. Have you, like, I've turned around and I'm like, I've pulled out a broom or something and I'm, like, sweeping the roof a little bit. So I'm not looking at you while I'm talking. And I'm like, so... have you considered what you'd do if your author tithe?
You're offered the tithe. I would take it. A long time ago, I almost died. Saw what lies beyond. Better to face whatever fate the vampires take than to face that.
And you'd pay it back in kind?
I did.
Yeah. Yeah. You get the bird taken care of. You need a hand with that.
Yeah, like I think I'm being too gentle with the bird, and it just keeps on like running around. And I can't get the message on its leg.
Yeah, I'll scoop it up and be like, oh, come on, Jerry, just stick your leg out. And like, so like I'm like holding the bird and like I poke its leg with my finger and it sticks its leg out so you can tie it on.
Yeah, then I get the message. I tie it on. Who was it that offered you?
It's only hypothetical, she says, completely lying. And then she like releases the bird so that it like flies up and there's like a flutter of wings and everything.
All right, I think that's a good place to end.
That's such a good transition. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Now that brings us to a transition in time. We're going to move into the next age. So we're going to read the transition prompt for the upcoming age. So first you get to choose if we're going to... So for the main prompt for entering age 2. An event to foreshadow the end of the isolation. It finds its way into all conversations and is impossible to ignore. We have 2 different paths that we can go down, the black column or the red column. Whichever one we choose now, we're going to follow to the end.
Cool.
Yep.
So...
I'm already reading the last one to see what ending I want.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I can't resist that. Oh, man. They're both pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
They're both good. Basically, do we want a tragedy or do we want like...
I mean, they're both tragedies.
I mean, they are, but here's the thing is... we could be the last gang of the docks. Or we could all go to jail. Vampire jail. No one wants to go to vampire jail.
Nobody wants to go to
No.
vampire jail.
I don't want to go to vampire jail.
I mean, Scattered is Han Solo fading away.
True. I
So
mean,
there
yeah, I
are
guess
ways to soften the blow either way.
we
Yeah.
could flee Gradia. That's true. We don't all have to go to vampire jail, but someone's probably going to vampire jail.
And it's not me.
Maybe
About it.
that's. What if Act 3 is vampire jail?
All right. So, what do we want? Do we want to be the last kid standing, or do we want to go to vampire jail? So really, I'm good with either one of these. Honestly, they're both.
I'm
real
also
good.
good with either one. You guys have talked me into vampire jail.
Yes, vampire jail.
We're that good as con artists. We can talk you into and out of vampire jail.
It's the ultimate con. We're the cult check at vampire jail.
Yeah, we check the guards' coats, we get the keys, and then we're running that sucker.
Perfect.
Or we just take all the prisoners' stuff when they go to jail, and they're gonna leave anyhow.
Yeah, you just gotta circum.
All right.
100 years circum.
Yep.
So does that mean
I'm down
vampire
for
jail?
I'm down for red.
Okay.
Okay, I'm happy with that.
We pulled this exact job dozens of times. That's what did it. We got lazy. The whole thing went to shit. We come back broken and battered. Either someone's talking or they found something in the scene, but one way or another, the heat is on us. How do we protect ourselves? The transition between ages marks a passage of time. It could be weeks or months or even years. Then we're going to fill out these details. If a specific group or groups of people are referenced, who are they? There's not really anyone in specific that was mentioned other than they found something. So who's searching for us, I suppose, whether it's the cops or if it's the shoot, what's the other gang called again?
The Heartbreakers.
Heartbreakers, yeah, or both.
Or it could be a third group like vampire hunters.
It could be a third group like vampire hunters.
From the
Oh,
moon.
it could be a third group like vampire hunters.
Mm-hmm.
Is it
All right.
vampire hunters?
I feel like it might be vampire hunters.
I'm cool.
How much
I won't
time?
let the vampire.
How much time has passed since our transition?
Are you a vampire? No?
Oh, maybe I am.
Perhaps.
I mean, are you now?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe I am. Maybe I am. Has it been that much time? Am I a vampire now, or does that come later?
I
So
feel
we
like
fast
age
forward
3.
120 years.
I feel like
Yeah.
age 3 is when you become a vampire. Age 2
Okay.
is when maybe we make it happen.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I think
So-
that could be a cool scene.
Not a
Wait, wait.
vampire yet, but some time has passed here. Has it been
Got the engagement.
I think it's been like a couple years at least.
a couple years?
Yeah.
Okay. We've been doing this for a while now. How does the community react? So I feel like besides just like the four of us, there's also like another half a dozen cousins, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So as a community at large, how do we react to this?
Paranoia.
Paranoia? Yeah. Yeah.
Get even more insular, even more suspicious of outsiders, more isolated, I feel like.
That sounds good.
Each transition brings about change to the isolation. This change will transform an aspect in the community. For any transition except when entering the legacy, complete the following steps. As a group, choose one aspect to evolve. This aspect must be in the current age. Discuss how the age transition has brought about a change in this aspect. Then we decide on a replacement aspect. So we would write on new index card with a new aspect and we put it into the next ring, and then we'll move the other two aspects up to that next ring as well, and then each player may choose to discard any number of cards and redraw from the next age. Or no, one card. You can discard one card and then draw a second card from the next stage. Yeah. You can evolve an aspect in many ways. The isolation may choose to adapt in the face of adversity, and let the world change them, or they may double down in the face of doubt, entrenching themselves in their beliefs. When involving an aspect, you're changing part of the isolation in response to the world around it. So we got in a fight with some vampire hunters while we were on a job. What does that change? I don't think it changes us being vampires.
What if you become
But
vampire hunters?
does it change our coat burglars? Does it change our speakeasy? Does
I
it
was
change our vampires?
I don't think I feel like it changes either the speakeasy, the place where we feel safe. Maybe
Yeah.
that moves to someplace else because they've tracked us back to that speakeasy and we have to move
Makes
house.
sense.
That's a
Or
good
the
one.
other thing could be we have to change our method because
That's what I
they're
was-
onto us.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I feel like it's one of those two, and I'm down for either one of those changing.
Okay. Yeah, and vampires are going to move into the next stage. I kind of feel like it's our methods. Like, I feel like this is a job that went sideways and not a crackdown on our safe spot. But
Yes.
Yeah.
Safe. Speakeasy is already pretty secure.
okay, so we'll move the speakeasy down into age 2,
Mhm.
and we'll copy coat burglars and rename them. What do we change? What is our new modus operandi?
It's got to be something else that's within our skill set, but now it's like, yeah,
Cause yeah, it's got to be something where we're still like lying to people. Like
Mhm.
that's
Yeah,
our
yeah,
skill
yeah.
set, right?
Right.
So we're not working the coat check anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we're also not targeting the same types of marks
Mm-hmm.
because we were like targeting like wealthy people at their homes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe now we're like doing something with like mercantile businesses, that sort of thing,
Okay.
just so it's like a different thing in our same wheelhouse that could still potentially make money, I guess. But
Mhm.
I don't have a good idea for the specific of it.
I have an idea. If I want to hear, like, if somebody has something that's on their heart, I want to hear them first. After that, I have an idea.
The only thing that I thought of was for us to just go full on, like, um art dealers. Like, instead of being the coat check that steals the thing, like, we've always been into acquiring art, and now we just turn that into our business. But our con is lying about the um, who the artist is, coming up with forgeries, or
Ooh.
just upselling stuff, you know?
I really like that.
I really
And
like that.
it also ties into like Roxa as the artist very well also, which I like. I like bringing in Roxa's role here.
Yep.
What was your idea, Lavender?
My idea was that, th- so like, it's been a few years. There have been mishaps. There are other vampires outside of our isolation that would be happy to pay us to, like, and it's in both of our interests to give anonymous counter intelligence to the vampire hunters. So, like, we just tell them where vampires are, and then when they get there, there are actually no vampires there to mislead them. But I like this other idea better because it ties in my character better, and it it's better
Yeah.
with us as
Sure. All right.
I'm gonna say it'd be cool if, now that the vampire hunters are after us and we're like pretty much pro vampire, we've been stealing from, the rich, which is basically the vampires. I think it's time to steal from the church. So what could be cool, so I was thinking, like, well, we could steal money from the church, but how we steal art from the church, because, like, if you think about it, like, we got Michelangelo, Da Vinci, they painted on the church.
Mm-hmm.
What if we had a forgery?
Yeah,
That's
because we
perfect.
could definitely like forge religious art and sell it to the church.
Yeah. Or even just forging works in the style of their painters and
Cool. Art forgery it is.
I like
Yeah,
it.
that's so cool.
Fantastic. So, next step. That's it. We are ready to play again. Starting back with does anyone want to discard any cards from your hand? Actually, I think
need
I
to
do.
look at my cards. I
Does
think I do. I have a
that matter?
question. Create a word action that is like I can do anything with it, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna keep that. You know, I want to discard my H2 card that I grabbed and get a different one.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, do I draw an H3 one?
No, you'd actually draw an H2 one. I put the cards away too soon. Let
Okay.
me pull them back out again.
It's all good.
There it is. They're down
okay.
here.
Yep, I see them. So I will go ahead and deal one to me.
I will deal one to me. I deleted.
Ooh, I like that one so much better. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, what is my new? Oh, I like this one so much better. So yes,
Yay.
good.
Yeah, I think I'll draw an H1 too. An H2.
You have to discard one of your current cards, though.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
No
I
friends
like
in the
that
isolation.
word.
Well, I feel like we already have that term of endearment, and yeah,
I know.
you see
I
where
was
I'm going.
I was just teasing you.
I like our words, so I will get rid of two of them. Can I do
There we
that?
go.
No, you can only get rid of one.
Oh.
Yeah, that's better.
Let's see what I get for H2. But I like our words. I'm not going to change them.
I do like that we're vampires though, and this could potentially be like 100 years later, and language would naturally evolve over that time. I think that's very cool.
Oh, Boston's not
I
a
like that too.
Right, and it's not been 100 years yet because Gopher's also not a vampire yet. Yet.
Yet.
So we all say yet. Okay. Lavender, it's your turn. Play a card
Okay.
and tie it to a thing.
Let me take a look at these. It's an action. I don't want to do that one. Yeah, this is one that I like, and I kind of already touched on before in Rex's other scene. Environmental feature, a distinct feature of the environment, be it natural or man-made, has gained profound meaning for the isolation.
Nice. Yeah,
Yep.
what is it? What is it tied to first?
Oh, yeah, that's great. I think... Yeah, I'm going to tie this to the vampires.
All these cool vampire words.
Yep. I'm thinking that I'm tying it to the vampires because we like the vampires need like a perch or a lair or something. Specifically, what I'm thinking of is when we had that scene, I mentioned the oil needles that are out in the water that ship was navigating between, and I think that's become like a vampire perch where you can look up at it from the docks and you can't see all of the vampires that are there, but there are so many vampires in those needles. Like basically everyone has a vampire in it, probably more like 4.
Only 4? I guess they're territorial.
Sometimes more than 4.
On average, 4.
Yep.
How about that?
Median 4 vampires per needle.
The mode.
So basically, we need a word that references those needles as being vampire perches.
Yep.
Okay. My first instinct is nest, but I think we need something that references them specifically being these needles
Mm-hmm.
as the nest. Like,
A statistic? I'm probably the only one that gets that. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean.
I'm drawing a blank.
Yep.
Yeah, like, I don't know if nest is the right word, but like,
How about a shell? By
I-
the sea.
hmm.
Or like crabs. When the nest gets
Gotcha.
too big, it has to find a bigger shell.
I like the idea of like black shell specifically to reference
Ooh.
like that. We're talking about those oil needles.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Is there any black material? That would be cooler. I don't think so.
Another thought I have is like the onyx spires.
That sounds so pompous.
I
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
That's
How
why
about a
I
coal
picked
shoot?
That's the opposite of an oil needle.
Yeah.
Oh, but what if it is something like that? Like you take the old word for a vampire nest and then you apply it to these now.
Ooh,
So it
that-
Mhm.
feels really out of place, similar to like if you were to call it a coal chute, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would be a pre-technological oil needle?
Well, then we have to figure out where did vampires use to nest
Mm-hmm.
A
before.
siren? Like the sirens? The vampires used to be sirens?
That's
The sirens
really weird and
rocks?
interesting. Sorry, you got my brain going on this entire vampires are actually sirens thing. I need to file this away for another game.
Uh-huh.
Just like they enchant people.
No one's
So,
ever done this
They're
before.
luring
bef-
but actually vicious.
so before we had oil rigs, they basically need a place where they can keep an eye on things, but also not get fried to a crisp by the sun.
I
Mm-hmm.
feel like bell towers.
Yeah, I was gonna say bell tower.
I like the idea of just calling them bell towers.
Mm.
I see. What I'm thinking of too is that if vampires are in them, the idea that they're these needles that are going out into the sky, you might think of your fangs as your first thought because they are going under the water into the ground to pull up oil instead of blood or something like that. And
That
you
is
can see
also
them
cool.
coming out
Mm.
toward the sky too. So I'm thinking something like fang towers or something like that.
Or even just calling them fangs, I think is
Yeah,
cool.
I was thinking just calling them fangs when you said that.
Okay.
Call it
Um,
like a unicorn's tooth because the narwhal tusk sticking in the sky in the
mhm,
ancient times would have looked like this.
mhm,
Maybe we hunted all the narwhals.
mhm. Um, I'm gonna dig into this and call them fang towers.
Okay.
That way we can put a longer word on the board too and have some variety and yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it is kind of like a mashup between bell towers and fangs, which
Yeah,
is
yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
I like that. Okay, great.
Yep. Where's a little card that I can copy?
You take these cards, and you go
Okay.
copy, and then you go
Okay.
paste. There you
Okay.
You
go.
say take those cards. Oh, you mean those cards. Gotcha.
I mean, any pair of cards, really.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yep.
I'll let you worry about that.
Yep, on it.
Who would you like to see in a scene
About a dangerous climb.
about a dangerous climb?
Hold on, I'm still writing stuff. Oh. I really want. Nope. I think we're all here.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
this. What are we doing here? This is.
Where is here?
We're in one of the Fang Towers.
Okay.
And we are. This is Gladys's initiation where she becomes a vampire. And if she does not become a vampire, then she will die as soon as she hits the water. And if you become a vampire and you really are a vampire, then you will come out of the sea a vampire and
As a
be
bat.
baptized.
As a bat.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
And we'll greet you up at the top of your perch.
Awesome.
So are we all climbing to the top and then we're gonna like initiate her and shove her into the water? Is that the
Yes.
idea?
Yeah,
Perfect.
exactly.
So we're in mid climb.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as the sire, I'm leading this climb, and I'm just like my coat is flapping. I feel like there's a full moon because, of course, my
Mhm.
hair is also being like bombarded by the wind, and like it's probably slicked. Like I feel like it's raining as well, so it's like slicked to my head in places. And I'm like, all right, everyone, you got to keep up. And I'm just climbing and shouting down at you as I'm climbing like the ladder.
Does
Yep.
this, Roxa? Does this get easier after?
It definitely does. But I really would try to get to the top as soon as you can, because this Fang Tower is just going to get more and more slippery. And so Rax is I'm at the bottom of the climb, because what my job is Sire can't be bothered to catch any of you if you fall off before we do the initiation.
Mm-hmm.
But if one of you slips, it, it it's not time for you to die yet.
Right. Right. Of
Yeah.
course.
So I have to. My job is the catching.
I trust you, Roxa.
Yep.
I trust you to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Like Boston, like reaches up to grab his next handhold, and it rusty, and like this whole bunch of metal comes down and almost falls on. Oh gosh, I wish you guys had changed your name.
I did.
Oh, sorry. I will change my name.
Adam, what's your character?
Raxa.
You're Rox. That's what I thought. Okay.
I'll
Yeah,
change my
the metal, like maybe it's just like a few pounds of metal, but almost hits you.
Hmm.
I'm like, damn Fang Towers.
Yep.
And you see Boston like staring down into the ocean, like it has some fascination for him, even though like he's told you like he believes there is no fate worse than death.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So will I get my own Fang Tower, or will I be sharing yours?
You're so eager. We can discuss that after we are not on Wobbling Tower.
Mm-hmm.
I just look over and I was like, oh.
Because I imagine, like,
Climbing.
because of the storm or whatever, it's like literally doing this as we're climbing it.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Adults are more sturdy in the old days.
Mm-hmm.
Climbing.
Don't look into the sea. It's going to vex you. Keep going. Keep going. We don't have time for this.
Circum. Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think that's.
I heard that.
I think scene.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard that. Flawless. Okay. And then Lavender, you get one more card.
You.
I got vice.
Ooh, nice.
An indulgence, a weakness, a salve, a vice shared by some in the isolation spreads. What is it called and what are the consequences? I think I'm gonna tie this actually to art forgery. I think this is something that um, we only like started to find as a vice since we've started the art forgery business. Um,
Yeah.
oh, you know what? You know what it is though. It's
It's a,
it's painting the forgeries. Like actually doing the art of it is this vice, it's this release, and it's this addiction.
Yeah, I'm in 1010%.
yeah.
So this is
This is a vice that spread among my friends when I was a child.
um
Yep.
oh god, I need a good word for it though. Let's see. So I feel like this is something um something short and punchy, um that is like that, like means the act of doing it,
Is
like
there a form of art that would get a lot of the paint and chemicals airborne? I think
mm,
of like modern art where they like throw buckets of paint
Mm-hmm.
a
and it
little.
Spray,
splashes everywhere.
spray, splash.
Swatting.
mm,
Yeah, there's a specific name for that type of art, like like a Jackson Pollock piece, but I forget what his.
Everyone just calls it a Jackson Pollock.
But
Yeah.
there's a specific word. I'm googling it now for what kind of technique he uses. Action painting, drip
mm.
technique.
Drip.
Drip.
Taking the drip. I mean, that's pretty common drug slang.
I mean, there's no reason it can't just be common drug slang reappropriated to making art.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone
Yeah.
thinks that we're talking about, getting high, but really
But
we're
we're just
talking
talking about
about
forgeries, forging
forgeries.
some.
The drip. Yeah, yeah, that's it. All right, yeah, that's the drip. Let's do a scene. So I think that Roxka has to be in this scene, like
Yes.
100%. Um, and I want to see Boston interacting with Roxka more. So let's see
Mm-hmm.
the two of you.
What are we doing?
Oh, what are you doing? You
Where
get to
are we?
decide that. Where are you? What are
Mm-hmm.
you doing?
Are you on the church one day? What would that be
Yes,
like for you?
because I'm in like this horrid dark veil because I'm a vampire. But it's really better because it takes me into a different mindset to paint with.
Hmm.
And I feel like this isn't a thing where it's like one of us is painting and the other person is watching us paint. We are painting this together.
Okay, yeah. I think like Boston is also like taking a list of ingredients that we need. Or are we actually painting the church? Like this is the forgery in the church that we're doing. Are we wrecking a piece of art in the church and defacing it?
Yeah.
They don't have the technology to restore it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's what we're doing. Can vampires fly?
We can turn into bats.
Can you paint as a bat?
I think I
No,
just
but that
found
doesn't stop her.
I think I just found my string doodle for Wednesday. Um,
So I think Boston is like holding the ropes
yeah.
to like get you to the ceiling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And I feel like we take turns doing this. Like it's almost like a pulley system. And
Okay.
yeah,
My
we
arms
take.
get tired.
Yep. And then it's my turn. And so Roxa is so you were offering to like pull Roxa to the ceiling first to like change and resculpt this painting.
Sure.
I Roxa takes this um this like really flat brush and starts painting like this face has already like a lot of contrast. It feels like very complete and fully formed, and I'm taking it all the way back to the rough draft where I it just looks like I'm painting over it and vandalizing it, but I need time to actually like make the painting.
Okay.
Um and I spread paint all over um the body of the saint,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like this beige paint, and as like because you're holding the pulley and holding me up to the ceiling, after a while some of the paint drips down onto the floor
And
and just
Boston
like
just calls up.
there's a little
You're
bit in
starting
front
to
of me.
drip.
That's why they call it that. And then like I finish off by like covering a leg in beige. Pull me back down.
All right, slowly lower you back down. Whew.
Ready for detail work?
All right. What expression do you want at this time?
Um Roxa like frowns a little bit like kind of like that and goes, you saw what the painting was before, right?
Right.
The point is that we're trying to match the saint's original expression, but we're the thing that will show what we mean truest. There's a bunch of high concept shit that we could try, but we're just going to give
Speak.
him a red sash.
Can we just have painted a red sash on him?
um that would have been nice and would have been easy to do
We're trying
if
to prove a point,
he were
though.
more bare chested. However,
Ah,
you saw he was wearing the tunic, and I want him bare chested and in the tunic. No, that's not what Roxa says.
you
Roxa
want
says, I want him bare chested with the sash, is what she says.
you want to see some hair, is what I'm hearing.
Yes,
I got you.
that's fine. And then I'm ready on the pulleys, and I just go, circum, and I pull you up.
Oh, yeah, I got my paints. I'm up there painting away.
Did you get heavier after the initiation or what? Ugh.
What happens, Roxa? Do you know what happens to those who fall?
It's pretty uneventful, actually. They don't come out of the water. I wish I had something more spectacular to tell you.
They don't come back.
No. You just get vexed. Pay their tithe to God.
And, like, it's like, that really motivates Boston in
Mhm.
this act of blasphemy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
There you go.
Awesome.
Roxa is like really hyped about the painting. Yep. And we end there.
Awesome. That makes it your turn, Golden.
All right. We've done enough work scenes actually, so let's see here. Yes. I'll use this card. What lies outside?
Oh, normies.
Mm.
How we refer to the world outside of the isolation. What memories and emotions does it evoke inside of us?
Mm.
And I think I want it to be related to vampire hunters because we haven't talked about them at all.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that would tie it to vampires then.
Yes. Or yes, it would. Okay. Hmm. I think it's the method that they use to kill vampires. That's what we're naming here.
Mm.
Do we
Cool.
call them by the method, or are we just naming the method?
I think it's the method.
Okay.
Like
So
maybe
then, how
it's,
do they?
Yeah,
kill
how do they
vampires?
kill vampires?
right? Because vampires so far seem pretty tough.
Mm-hmm.
Fall into water. They don't really die of old age.
Mm-hmm.
They don't fight each other that much.
Is it
So-
fire?
That's a good one.
Be out in the sun.
Oh my gosh! What if they like chain a vampire out in the sun and just let the sun take them? That's
I've seen
horrible and
that.
dramatic.
Mm.
What did I see that in?
I know there was something similar in Interview with the Vampire where they put him in a tower and just waited for the sun to come up, go through a window, and burn them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, there was someone doing that in Buffy. Man, that show got dark sometimes.
Yeah, it did.
What material are the chains made out of? Because we can just break through iron chains, right?
Sure.
Assume you guys are
Yeah.
We could
strong?
steal from Witcher and say that they're silver, and there's a weakness to silver in all
Supernatural creatures.
I
Mhm.
assume would also stop you from turning into a bat.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Obviously.
So we could call it getting silvered.
That's a good one.
Mm.
Or scorched, if you want to refer to the sun itself.
Mm-hmm. Or if we're naming the vampire people, we like call them the sun or the sunwalkers or something.
Links of a chain.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to link to flames, not Dark Souls.
Getting sun linked.
That's a good one.
Burned.
Mm-hmm.
Getting a tan? Nah.
It's getting more dramatic than that.
Hmm.
Right?
Hmm.
Be like filleted, forged.
Glint with like the sun glinting off the silver.
Yeah, glint's kind of feels good. Like you got glinting.
Hmm.
That sounds like you use that in a sentence.
Hmm.
People wouldn't
We
know
could
what
even
you're
talk
talking
about
about.
like a glinting cousin as someone who's been,
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah.
yeah. Let's go with glint.
Okay.
Hmm.
So,
I'll
let's see.
make a thing. I'll copy a thing for you.
Okay. Who do I want? I want to
Thanks, I
see
appreciate it.
how many more people after me. I want to see Kelsa become a vampire eventually.
After you is Astani, and then we go into age 3.
Stan, do you want to do something else, or do you want a vampire on your scene?
Um, I don't really have. I'm happy to do a scene turning, or I don't know if I want to do the scene turning Gladys because we kind of already had that like in the
Yeah.
background climb the tower, but I'm
Hmm.
happy to deal with like the aftermath.
Mm-hmm.
Also, do you feel like you want more focus on the actual turning?
I'm
Or should I
happy
do
to leave
something
it vague.
else?
I'm happy to leave it vague, yeah.
Yeah.
You're already a vampire
Okay. Ooh, interesting.
then.
The very interesting. The prompt is we remember things differently.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So is it just the 3 of us? I mean, the 2 of us, I mean?
I think it is you and your sire.
I think you call me
Um,
sire now.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I definitely do.
oh wait, Roxa is also Castaneda's character. Is their sire?
Yeah.
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 I think what's going on here is that both both Gopher and Roxa are being glinted, and we're going to see so bad with names. Italy. We're going to see Sire rescuing her newest child and trusting Boston to save Roxa.
That's really cool.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Where are we? Where are we being glinted? Where does this happen?
Hmm. Is that for me?
It's for all of us cuz we're all in the scene, right?
Hmm.
Okay.
Town square. High
Ooh,
noon.
I like that.
Town Square High Noon, yeah.
Actually, no. Town square just before dawn.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah, I feel like there are actually vampire hunters there in
Yeah.
Town Square.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I think the scene starts with Gladys Gopher is tied up, but her head is lolling, and she's either not conscious or pretending to be unconscious
Hmm.
as dawn approaches, and Roxa is by her side. Are we tied together or just near each other, or not near each other, just in the town square?
So I feel like there's obscure vampire lore that if you tie two vampires together, then they can both escape. So
Mm-hmm.
we are tied up separately and facing each other. So while you're lolling and pretending not to be conscious. I'm just pretending to be like blank faced and like statue still and hard to read, but what I'm doing is I'm actually focusing, even though it looks like I'm not focusing on anything, I'm focusing really hard on Gopher to see, like, to figure out if you're conscious or not.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're in a nearby alleyway going over our our plan of attack on how to rescue our cousins.
Okay. I think yeah, Boston's like I can blend in with the crowd. I'll get
Yes.
one of those vampire hunters and take their cloaks. I'll be able to move freely then.
I know you can do this. Now, I trust you to get Roxa. I am going to create big distraction. No one is going to be able to look away from me. I am quite a good target, don't you think? So I will create distraction, and while they are busy getting me, I trust you to get Roxa. And then when they notice you getting Roxa, I will use that as distraction, and I'll get Gladys. We can all make it out of this alive. No one's going to get glinted today, not on my watch.
And be careful, right?
And grab your shoulders. Boston, I am always careful, even if it looks like I am not. I know what I am doing.
You like to put on a show.
Well, you can't have good distraction without putting on a show.
That's true. I take care.
I will see you soon. And then we just see him like stride out with his arms out and just like, gentlemen, gentlemen. Do we
Oh
want to
my
see
gosh.
this whole scene or?
I
Can
think
you?
Roxa finally snaps out of like statue mode and turns to the distraction.
Okay.
and finally we see Gladys like break her stupor, and she doesn't look up, but like she perks up, like you can tell that she can hear her sire coming to her rescue.
Mm-hmm.
And she says under her breath, don't you dare get glinted from me, you fool.
I think it just like breaks out into like a fight. And we get to see like cool supernatural vampire abilities of just like dodging really fast, like leaping out of the way,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, it's like it's totally like they're gonna make a mural out of this later. You know, the vampires will after we win, like to prove to the vampire hunters that they can't possibly win in the long run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think that's the scene.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm gonna hold on to that. Either I'm just gonna create a random word, and I don't really have any good ideas for that, so I think I'm gonna play this card. Future. How we refer to what is yet to come and what it means to us. This may be an important event in the future or the future as a broad concept. Since we haven't tied anything to the speakeasy, I want it to be a speakeasy term.
Sure.
Maybe it's something that's come from the speakeasy and has folded into our vernacular that way.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Is it an event that we're holding in the future at the speakeasy?
Ooh, is it an event that is always perpetually in the future? you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like yeah, like it's not necessarily a specific event in my head. I'm imagining something that's more like we use this term and we use it to like just generically talk about a future event.
You know, when it's safe, or
Right.
when we have enough to retire, or
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
like
that
that.
sort of thing.
What are we going
It's
to do? It has
it's
to do
like
with the
talking
speakeasy.
about like the end goal when we're not being hunted or whatever. But
Mhm.
it's specifically related to like the speakeasy, so it's going to be something to do with like dance or
Yeah.
music or
uh,
drinking,
the
something
last
like that.
song, something like that.
Mm.
I like the idea of that. I want to hear some other ideas if anyone has any, but I really do like that.
Last act.
Is it last song or like last dance?
Mm.
Hmm. I was thinking of something really different from that, which is like when we finally do the expansion to the speakeasy, but that's
Expansion.
never gonna come
Mm.
because then a bunch of people requesting permits are gonna come in, and we're definitely gonna. That's not
Right.
gonna go well.
You know, when we finally get curtains for the place.
Hanging
Oh,
up
but that's
curtains is
both.
actually really good though,
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I
that's
like
like
that.
implying like safety and sound like I'm gonna go with hanging curtains.
that's really
Awesome.
good.
The scene is we have different visions.
I really want to see Gladys and Roxa again
All right.
after you've been
That's really good.
rescued. Some weeks later, maybe talking about like the future of whatever, obviously, because
Where are we?
Mhm. I think we're just so I can point to things in the speakeasy and like places and like show you where I want the curtains to be,
Mm.
and you can do the same.
Mm.
Oh, this is in the speakeasy for sure.
Sure,
I
sure,
can't
sure. Yeah,
imagine
yeah,
it
yeah.
being anywhere else.
I
Yeah.
like how you've taken them to be literal curtains.
Yeah,
Well, yes and no, but
yeah. It's a
I
literal.
like it. I like it though.
Yeah,
it's a literal figurative curtain
Yeah, I
that
like it.
doesn't exist yet.
and never will.
Yeah.
It'll be curtains
What
for you.
what are we doing when this conversation comes up? Are you showing me like where you want the curtains? Like how do we
Mhm.
get to that point? Like
Are you actually putting up curtains ahead of time because you're tired of waiting?
So what's happened is I'm gonna make this painful instead. Because the vampire hunters are onto us and we just almost got glinted,
mm-hmm.
we are boarding up the windows instead of putting curtains over them. And Roxa
Ooh.
is really, really upset about this because
Yeah,
we're doing this before we're putting up curtains.
of course.
Yeah.
And Gopher is just like running back and forth with like more supplies. Like I'm picturing like Roxa has like a hand up and is like hammering the board into the window, and Gopher is like running and grabbing a new piece of plywood and some more
Mhm.
nails and like holding it there for the first couple tabs and then running and getting another one, that kind of a thing. That's like that feel like the dynamic, except
Mhm.
like now that she's a vampire she gets to run like super fast and she can
Yeah,
carry like much larger boards.
that's amazing. Yeah. Um, so while all of that's awesome, Roxa is just like, you can see it. She's really disappointed. She's really um she makes this really sarcastic, it's like, I'm just gonna say it and it's gonna be really bitter. And she's going to like ask you. She's gonna tell you. So I have a plan. This looks hideous, and it just looks like boards being put up. And she says, "I guess my plan for this is we can cover this over with."
Paint it. Come on. Just the drip.
Exactly.
Just right here.
Mm,
Oh, Roxy, you're not thinking about curtains again, are you?
yeah, I am.
We just... We need to protect ourselves. We need to protect Sire. This is the way we do it. We don't have the luxury.
He's my flit too. You don't get to say that first.
Right. Right. You're right.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
So, can you bring over the paint? I have to paint a captivating masterpiece here.
Of course. And I'll go grab some paint. And I think that's the
Mhm.
scene.
And then
Also,
you.
why don't I always end up in a love triangle between you and Lab?
And then you see the most disappointed person painting the most beautiful artwork you've ever seen.
Oh. It's amazing.
Yep.
Beautiful. All right.
Now we're going to move on to the next era. So we need to read the next stage. What was foreshadowed has come to pass. The end of the isolation is near. There is no escaping it. What does the paragraph say?
It was a success. We got a
Nope.
second note.
Nope.
We're
A
red.
crackdown.
Yep.
They knew we were coming. It's hard to read because it's very small.
Someone must have taught them our words. Several of us are rotting in jail, and a hunt through every gutter of this city is ongoing for the rest of us. How do they keep tracking us down?
I feel like instead of rotting in jail, several of us have been glinted.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yep.
Are we down to just the four of us now?
That sounds cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
My kind of jokey suggestion for why so many of us have been glinted, it's just that circum is just such a addictive filler word that has taken on so many different meanings that it's really easy to figure out who we are and track us down.
Yeah.
We can't stop. All right.
Can't stop, sir.
Can't stop circum.
Just gotta circum.
So I think the they in this is definitely once again vampire hunters.
Yeah, of course.
And how much time has passed during the transition?
Boston, are you a vampire now?
Can't be a vampire.
Boston, are you an old person now?
Yeah, I'm old as shit.
It's been like 50 years later?
Yeah, I got a cane. I'm like, hello, young ladies. I see you are still flitting about.
Oh, lovely. Oh, how does the community react? Well, I mean, we're down. Our numbers have been cut.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
I think we're desperate also.
Yeah.
It tried to glint me. Doesn't work so well on humans.
I like the idea of them thinking you're a vampire trying to glint you. You're just there, you're just staring. So like, what the heck?
Like, make sand checks and I'll just run away. Just run
These
away.
teens are so pretty. I love them.
They couldn't handle it. He's too powerful.
What aspect are we going to evolve?
I think vampires are still vampires.
I think perhaps now our speakeasy has been compromised.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it
that's a
has.
good. Yeah. That's
Okay.
awesome.
What do we have to replace it?
And this is basically our vice den. What is our new vice den?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Or our sanctuary, or
Oh yeah, they're run.
We'll probably be on the run after this age.
Hmm.
I feel like this is our last foothold in the city,
okay.
whatever that is. Is it a Fang Tower?
That's exactly what I was about to say, but I kept burping.
Yep. Fang Tower. Yeah.
Fine. Fish. Fishing all day.
Oh,
Awesome.
Boston.
Great. So, anyone may discard one card and redraw from the 3 deck. I'm gonna get rid of faction and draw a new card.
I'm gonna get rid of create a word because I feel like I need prompts to create words. I don't have any good just random ideas floating around.
Yep. I'm happy with all of mine.
Ooh, I got 2 good ones. So now I have to decide which one I want to use.
All right. Well, Lav, you're first.
Okay, great.
I want to get rid of this. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, we haven't really
apart
used
from this-
an action card yet.
Yeah, I can go over
How do we
action
do
cards
this?
real quick.
Yeah.
Action cards bend the normal flow of play by introducing special rules for modifying the language. They may be played like any other card to start a turn. Instead of introducing a piece of language for a new concept, these cards pivot off existing language items to create or modify words. Action cards modify the core phrases of a turn as written on the card. Phrases that are not listed are played through normally. So it will tell you what phases you're going to do on the
Yep.
card that you play.
I'm looking at it. I love this. A new source. Out of the blue, we hear a word. Our word, said by someone we did not expect. Circum is getting appropriated.
We foreshadowed this.
That's pretty funny.
Make a connection. Pick a previously defined word and explain how a group that previously did not use this word has begun using it. This group may be either internal or external to the isolation. Skip the build-a-word phase. In the conversation, explore this new source of our language.
So it's definitely kids that started using it, because what I want so much is that the kids are using it, and then when they meet the vampires, we think we're also cool for using it, but when they meet Boston, they're just like, oh, you're an old man trying to get hip with the new slang. And then Boston was just like, I was there.
I invented circum.
Back in my day.
I was circum before you kids even were born.
We were taking coats and stealing watches.
You even know?
I love that. Sounds like a crazy old man.
You even know what coats are?
I love this so much, and it's so good for our jester.
I'm upset though because I broke the deck.
Oh no.
I seem to have drawn a card that doesn't exist.
You could try dragging it onto the table and then back into your hand and see if that fixes it.
But there's only one card in my hand.
I see multiple cards in your hand.
Try reloading the game.
I did twice.
Oh. Kelso, is
Can
there
you
a way
see
we
three
can
cards
see?
in my hand?
Yes. Kelso, is there a way we can look at what is in?
No. When I click on his thing, it doesn't give me the same options it does if I click on your Lav.
You see three like blank cards?
No, I see one story 1 card and 2 story 3 cards, but I can't click on them.
Story 3 cards.
Yeah, I can't click on them.
I drew not the null card. Bad. Bad omen. Draw another card.
Well, we'll get it
Uh,
figured out.
Let's draw another card. That one works.
Okay,
Okay.
good. Good, good.
Oh shit. That's. I'm gonna use that one. All right.
Great. Oh, so what's the scene? Who all's here?
What is the new source? Oh, wait, never mind.
Children.
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot. We're modifying a word. We're not tying it to a new thing.
We
I was
very
like doing the
nearly
weird middle thing.
just did the entire phase.
I
just
mean,
by
I guess
joking
we
about
did.
it.
We kind of did. I think you're right. I guess we can
Yep.
just move on if you like.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I'm fine with that.
I
Yeah.
like that. I feel like anything else would be redundant.
Great. I'm gonna make an expletive.
Nice.
Nice.
Our expletive of choice. A word said in fury or frustration. Some might find it distasteful.
Okay, boomer.
In just exactly 100% exactly I want that, but
What is it tied to?
vampires.
Okay.
Mm.
So if you want okay boomer,
But-
what are we like? Who are we putting down?
Normies, humans.
Oh, it's 4.
What?
Oh gosh.
Well, we could always just steal like chattel or that sort of idea of like you're just food.
But I don't think it's about them just being food. I don't think this is a derogative thing. This is like us expressing our frustration at them, at their humanity, right? Their short and petty lives that are just interfering with us, right? To give that okay boomer kind of like this is the like they're like but we're great and we're human and we have our short hot lives and we're like yeah, you're gonna burn out. like a
First thing that came to my mind was dust, because they're just gonna
Dust.
turn to dust and we'll still be alive.
Burners,
burners, yeah.
because that makes them.
I like
That's also,
burners.
like-
Burners feels like something you just fucking say. You're just like, fucking burners.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's good.
Because it's also for them, but it's also what they do to us.
That's also true.
No,
I
yeah.
like that. It's like a double-edged sword. They burn out.
Yeah, I
They're
know.
burning us because they're jealous of how beautiful and amazing we are.
Exactly. Yeah, no, they're burners. I love it.
It's perfect.
I just want to quote Doctor Who. This is not war. This is pest control.
Yeah, exactly.
When's the Daleks to say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, burners. When I was your age, we were more careful about these things.
All right. Now we need to see a moment we'll regret later. Boston,
Mhm.
who do you think you would have a moment you would regret with? Who would you like to make
What?
these memories with?
Wow, I'm so old. Are you sure that I'll have time to regret anything? My goodness.
You are very old.
Oh,
What if you regret it
man.
because you get murdered, though?
You don't have to regret it for long.
All right, we're gonna do it with Sire.
All right, yeah, lovely. Where are you?
I'm gonna move your card so I can see
Oh,
what our
of course. Yeah.
stuff is.
No problem. It's all over everywhere.
We're at sea. Of course,
Yeah.
fishing.
Are we like on a boat?
Yeah, well, I'm on a boat. I can't do cool vampire stuff. I don't
You
know
just
what you're
can't
doing.
walk on the water? What are you? Fucking burner.
Are you just gonna stay up there in the sky?
Where am I? Am I like in the crow's nest or something?
I don't know. Are you flying? Are you a bat?
No,
Are
I think
you
I'm in my mortal-ish form,
are you just
humanoid form.
floating in midair,
No.
ignoring gravity?
That's not a vampire power, excuse me, that is a moonchild power.
So I think I hear your voice. I can hear that you're talking to me, and even with my superior vampire hearing, I can't make out your words over the wind, and so I climb down the netting.
Oh, there you are.
I'm sorry, Bustin. What were you saying?
You know, it's been a long time since we first met.
It has been a relatively long time, longer for you, I think.
Longer than even you realize.
Why do you say that?
Just have one of those faces, you know? They all look the same.
Have I known you before?
A long time ago. You had more children, or they got glinted.
And it's just a moment, like a hard look, and just like quiet. He's just like giving you space to speak.
They didn't all make it.
Well, lots of people are getting glinted these days. Those fucking
I
burners.
mean, they didn't all survive the fall.
I don't think it's like clicking to him.
Had a name once.
Well, you'll have one now. He's Boston.
Back then, called me Johnny.
And now, just to step back out of character real quick, what are you implying that the relationship was between Janu
I'm
and
implying that you should be my sire if I had survived the fall.
I see. Okay. So basically, you didn't ever rise out of the ocean as a bat,
Right.
but you climbed out of the ocean at a later date, and you're something else.
Well, I guess I'm a man. What? Who can say?
Or yeah, maybe you're alive, maybe you're dead. Who knows? But you're not a vampire.
Well,
um, I think there's a moment where his eyes go wide when you say that name, and he's like, "You'll know, I remember you. You didn't come out of the water.
well, did eventually.
I wish I had known I would have looked for you. But I thought you were dead."
It's fine. It's time. It's not like we didn't find each other eventually.
Ah, that explains why you never wanted to take the tithe.
Never heard of anyone taking it twice.
You think it is possible? I don't know that anyone has ever tried. No one has ever made it out the ocean like you.
Too old now.
You know, age is nothing to us. It is but a grain of sand in a bucket.
And far back as I can remember, I'll pick young ones.
If I did not do this for you, what kind of man would I be? You are still my cousin. And then I just like thrust my wrist out to you.
Hmm. This is why we need dice in games.
No, you have to make a decision.
Here's the question: what are you going to regret? Are we going to regret turning you into a vampire, or are we going to regret trying this and killing you prematurely?
Or are we gonna regret not trying it and you die of old age?
Yeah,
Yeah,
everything
there's
here
so many things to
regrets.
regret. Either way, we know it's going to go badly. It's like it's fiasco.
Right? It's gotta be like Fiasco.
I mean,
Alright, I
if
think he's going
ahead.
to try it, but I don't know what goes wrong.
Okay, we can end there.
Yeah, I
We
was
can
gonna
just
say, like,
end
yeah.
with you with you nodding and then me cutting my wrist,
Yeah.
and then we just end there.
Alright.
And then it goes horribly wrong, and we can explore that later, maybe.
No idea.
Or never. Well, it's your turn, Golden. So,
Oh no, it's my turn.
play a card from your hand related to something, and maybe we'll see you in a scene, or maybe not.
It's time for the fracture. The root
Mm.
finds itself by not using one of our words. That word is the Fang Tower. And that group
Interesting.
is. Where's those people that are rifles?
The Heartbreakers?
Yep.
The Heartbreakers. Don't use this word for their vampire roosts.
Hmm.
I'm gonna make this bigger so I can.
All right. Rifts made permanent. Who is in this scene?
I think uh, Rexa's in the scene. And I think Sire's in this scene because I think Sire has the authority to make everything go wrong.
Where are we, Roxa, do you think?
So we have to be. We're. Yeah, I want to be deep underground. All of us are fine because we're deep underground and there's no sunlight that reaches down here. We're at a confrontation between the two of us and a bunch of like the lead heartbreakers.
Mm.
Okay. And they're also vampires, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
That's
Yeah.
one of the reasons they got their name. Yep.
So, we're in a confrontation. Has it gotten physical yet, or is it like did we like come down here to like try to make amends and be stronger and they're like fuck you, or is it that we came down here and they hunted us here, or like help me
I
help me.
like the first suggestion where we tried to make amends and then they went fuck you, and where we start the scene is Roxa actually using her vampire powers.
Okay.
And her vampire powers look like glittering red smoke with like just glittering red smoke that comes out of her hands, and she pulls it like through the air as she dashes toward a bunch of heartbreakers, and she's trying to like not hold them down and suck their blood back and take their power that way, because she's still trying to be like let's protect ourselves, but let's not get violent. So she's trying to glamour the vampires, and a few people at the sides are like paying attention and getting slightly mesmerized. And we're seeing this in slow motion on the camera. And she's like dashing and pulling the smoke around, and she looks back towards her sire to see if you're already gone.
I have your back. The rift that's going to be made permanent is going to be between us and the Heartbreakers, not between me and you.
Well, we'll see about that.
Well,
because
that's my intention.
I'm looking back at you because what I want is for you to let me take care of this. And I look back and you're not there. I look back and you are there in front of me. What do I see?
I'm tense, right? Because I'm worried there's more vampires here than they outnumber us. And they're powerful because they're vampires like we are. I trust in your abilities, but I'm worried that it won't be enough, especially because you're holding back. So you see me like trying to hold it together, trying to stand there and just be like, yeah, my one vampire can fuck all you up. But you can tell there's a vein right here. It's just kind of, yeah.
Then we see Roxa shake her head, and out through the smoke that she's creating, there's one of the Heartbreakers. I think the lead Heartbreaker's name is Jather, and he pounces out of the smoke and almost goes for my throat to like take the tithe that he deserves. But Raxa shakes her head, and Raxa dissipates completely, becoming the smoke. And there's no person emanating the smoke now. We're just like outside in the Fang Tower scene again, and we're seeing Boston's initiation, but my sire is outside of it because I don't want to take you into the glamour. But I'm trying to take I'm just like illusion bomb all of the Heartbreakers. But in doing so, I'm like, this is like the suicide move.
Oh gosh.
I'm using all my blood.
I think we see like from the sire's perspective, we see like all the vampires like stop fighting. They just stand and stare like glassy-eyed, wide-eyed as they're witnessing this glamour. And I know that you can't come back from this. And so there's just like a moment where I stand there stunned and like heartbroken, and then I turn and flee.
Yep.
Right in the feels.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oof.
Not Act 4 yet.
Staney.
So I'm gonna delete this fracture. I'm gonna do something a little bit different from this grimdark we've been doing. Symbol of hope.
Good.
Is this Hope Punk? It can't be Hope Punk. It's Grimdark Punk.
A moment of hope in the darkness. It's gonna happen. We see a beam of hope when things are most dire. We turn to this. I think it's got to be a vampire word, because that's the thing that
It's been so vampire. It has been.
Okay.
Very vampire.
So I'm gonna put this over here so I can put things on vampires. I don't really have a good idea for what I want it to be or any idea for it. So, let me hear y'all ideas.
I had an idea.
Yeah.
Whatever Boston became.
That could be interesting.
I love that.
Except we regret whatever Boston became. That's the thing.
Boston will always regret telling you, no matter what he becomes.
But it's got to be a moment we both regret.
Does it?
I guess the regret could be that I realized I could have found you sooner.
Yeah.
Because it was probably like a span of years in between that before we found each other again. And I didn't know who you were, and so maybe I regret that I lost you and have
I
only
feel
recently
like-
refound you.
Yeah, like when you found him again, like he made some kind of joke, and then he realized you didn't recognize him, and he's like, "Oh, that's awkward."
So yeah, I guess the regret could be that it's not necessarily what you've become that we regret. It's the regret that we realized we lost all of those years and we could have had a deeper connection that we never did.
And you could have had him being whatever this is sooner.
Yeah, whatever this is. So we got to name it though.
So much regret.
The symbol of hope is named regret. Wait, what?
No, it's named
I
despair.
think it needs
Yeah.
to have like I don't think it's going to be a stolen word. I actually want to use the create a word mechanic
Yeah, okay.
That's cool.
that we haven't played with.
Yeah, we haven't played with it because I mean, for for Thieves' Cant specifically, stealing words is the most appropriate. But yeah, create a word, pick a root and throw some affixes to it.
You almost
Okay.
can't do it any other way with the Thieves Can't roll because it has to be something you can use in casual conversation.
Yeah, but
But I feel like this is important
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I feel like this is something that we would not be talking about in casual conversation usually.
You just can add step 4, choose a word that rhymes with the word you made.
Yeah.
That's rhyming slang.
Al Nazul.
Al-Nazul.
Ooh.
That is what you are now. We don't know what that means.
Al-Nazul is hard to rhyme.
So what? Who is in the scene?
Think it is the two remaining vampires and the Al Nazul.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Okay. Where are we though?
I don't know. I'm still old because this voice is fun.
Obviously.
We have to be someplace discreet, private, where other people aren't, so we can use Al Nazul in conversation.
Are we in the Fang Tower?
I don't think we can go back there.
What happened to the speakeasy?
They overrun by vampire hunters.
Yep.
That was like 50 years ago.
No, I mean that was like a couple months ago. We had it for about
Oh.
50 years, and then the vampire hunters were like, "Oh, we found it."
Okay.
Yeah. We had it for like 50 years, and then we got a little sloppy.
What about the
Tried to
other
hang curtains.
one?
What if we're in a church, since that has kind of been a thing, and there's kind of like strange sacrilegious / religious tones with this
Yeah,
reborn kind of vampire dude. So maybe we're like at one of our old haunts we haven't been to in like 25
it's the
years.
same. No, it's been 50 years. It's the same church that Boston Roxa painted.
Oh,
all
maybe
of
we're
those years
here
ago.
like it's kind of like our little vigil for Roxa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh.
So yeah, we're holding a vigil for Roxa. I think we're all standing beneath the mural, and I'm lighting candles.
Mm.
Yeah, I think Boston's crying.
We are here today, tonight, to honor Roxa. She was one of my first cousins and one of my best. She sacrificed herself so that I could escape and survive. And I will never forget what she has done for me. And then I pass the candle to you, Gladys. And you're supposed to light another candle with that candle and say something.
Right. So as I start lighting a candle, I say, she was a flight in my life, and I'll never forget what she's taught me. I wouldn't be who I am today without her. And then I will pass the candle on to Boston.
Boston will light their candle. Roxa, always young and foolish, but she had a spark about her. In the end, she died to herself. She lives on in all of us.
Well said, Boston. Well said. Though, I put my hand on your shoulder. You've taught me something about what it means to die. And it does not always mean what we think it does.
I look at Sire's eyes and I say, Sire, where a human goes after death is the darkest place. What then do you imagine goes a place to a being that dies in the light?
I don't know, but I squeeze your shoulder and I say, if you can become this, not really what me and Gladys are, but something new, something different. Perhaps not all hope has been lost for Roxa. We're not a vampire, not truly, but perhaps the word Al-Nazul would suit you better. It's an old word and has power to it.
Al-Nazul.
Yes.
I
I
can
can
taste
feel that power.
And I'm not going to give up on Roxa. Maybe she can't come back as us, but I believe she is still out there and we will fight her.
It is possible. Catch her fish in the sea. It's no fish.
Okay, I think that's it.
All right.
Listen, anyone else had anything they wanted to add?
it. No, I think that's
We're gonna
good.
do the Vampire Jesus Resurrection because that's also an anime.
uh Now it's the legacy. This is the end of Act 3. We each get one legacy card. So get rid of your other cards.
I'm just gonna recall
Oh, hey.
all
They're
that.
not.
It'll recall all of our third deck cards.
Here,
Oh,
I'll show
legacies.
the other two decks
That is
too.
amazing.
Recall.
Oh, did you want to show them to the stream? Sorry.
Oh.
Too late.
Oh, that's a pretty cool one.
Oh, you know, time would have been really cool for vampires.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, show the legacy deck.
The other one I
Deal.
had was
One.
perception, which could have been interesting. It was an action card. It was basically, this is a word of importance where we say it and it changes people's perception of us.
Interesting.
But I wanted that moment of hope before everything goes to shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was really good.
So everything's going to shit. Give a narrative epilogue based on one of the legacy card prompts. Take
Oh,
this moment
no.
to wrap up your character's story or reflect on the legacy of the isolation. Players
I've
may go
already
in
done
any
2 of
order.
these.
Here's our ending. Locked up, dead, or scattered. Our days in this town are over. Is there any trace of us left? Let me
The
look at my
art.
card.
Yeah, there is, though. The
Yeah,
art
there
we
is
don't find.
definitely the art for sure.
So I just want to point out, I have to end my story with contempt for the outsider's ways. Did that. Ritual for the dead just did that. or as the walls come crumbling down. So I might have to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, rather than leave the story of our isolation frozen, the legacy provides us a moment to reflect on the world that isolation leaves. Legacy is your time to define the place, the isolation in history, and wrap up the stories of individuals, along with it, their language. Describe what happens through the legacy rather than having a conversation. It may be immediately after the last conversation in Age 3, or from generations in the future, a flashback, or anything in between. These narrations do not need to be in chronological order. Let's see. Alright, I'm gonna go first. So, I am going to take a shared memory of the old ways. This is later. It's not clear how much later, but I feel like we've gone from our glass lamp fantasy, like industrial punk world into not quite modern era, just shy. So it's very obvious a significant time has passed, and we see GLaDOS, and it's midnight, and like the moon is high in the sky, and she's standing on some cliffs, and she's wearing like some diaphanous like dress that flows out in the wind, and there's a couple of younger people there. Well, younger because we know she's a vampire. And she points out across the water, and just barely in the distance, we can see an oil rig. And she says, once upon a time, we would take a dive from the Fang Towers, and that was our legacy. But times change, and those burners have taken over all of the Fang Towers that ever were. So instead, we fall here.
Cool.
That's my scene.
She's got her own kindred. I love
Yep.
it.
Nice.
I love that too.
She got some cousins. Yeah. Who wants to go?
Go. I'm gonna say this. Choose one option. How you will be remembered, or out of the ash a seedling sprouts, or cast out again and again. I'm going to choose the middle one, and I'm going to say that it is in a boat out at sea, and it's surrounded by fog. And Roxa is in the boat with Boston, and Boston is saying, "You know, it wasn't easy to get here. I couldn't have gotten here without Sire's help. Well, I got his help too. Listen, we all come from water. It's water runs in our blood. Water that erodes the earth. It erodes time. And it weaves its way between life and death. It erodes everything, even our memories, the meaning of our words. That's also beginning. And I have this old staff. And I like dip it in the water, and the water around the staff turns into blood, and the blood is spreading through the sea as far as it will go. And you also feel the blood in your own body begin to pump again. I think it's a good scene.
It's cool. I like it.
That was a great scene. Awesome.
Cool. I have an immediate follow up unless Esteni
No, I
thinks
want to
she
go
has a
last,
better
so
one.
that's perfect.
Okay, awesome. Um, here are my choices. Something that outsiders need stand to learn? No. Saying goodbye to what was once normal? Tempting. On brand? No. Or a moment of deja vu?
Ooh.
Ooh, interesting.
As my blood stirs back into my body, so I'm in this vision, I'm completely nude, but as the blood in my veins starts to pump again, as you stir the water and it becomes blood, um, my form begins to go into that red smoke and change, and then the camera doesn't stops looking at that anymore, and night turns to day, and we see the red of sunrise that would normally glint us, but something feels off about the way this is shot. It looks like a sunrise is the closest thing that this could possibly be, but as we zoom out, we see that the red of sunrise and the clouds become the ripples in a sash, and the like flesh tones of the sky turn into the beige of the skin of the saint that was on the roof of the church that we painted. And then we are in the church. And it seems like we just see the painting at the end.
Mm.
As
So
the camera is
go ahead.
zooming in, are there curtains on the church?
Yeah. Red curtains.
So this is where credits would roll and you'd stick around for the post-credit scene.
Right, right.
And the post-credit scene, we see Vitaly in his manor that we've established. And
Mm-hmm.
I already talked about what my card says. Well, plonk it down here. We're going with walls come crumbling down. He's in his beautiful manor that has fallen into basically disrepair. Like he basically only lives in like 2 rooms in there, and everything else is like it's like sheets over furniture, everything's covered in dust, there's cobwebs everywhere. But we see him at this writing desk and he's writing 3 copies of a letter. And we don't get to see what it says at the moment. He folds them up and tucks them into envelopes, and then on each one, he writes a name: Gladys, Roxa, Boston. He has beautiful handwriting, by the way, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
We see him take the envelopes. He takes a suitcase. And as he's walking out of his manor, we can see there are like big construction machinery, wrecking balls, that sort of thing. They're gonna tear that whole thing down. He's not gonna be able to live there anymore. He must have like sold it. We see him walk into a city. It is a cacophony. It's night and it's a cacophony of like lights and sounds. There's like it's like not even modern, it's beyond that at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It's like into the future at this point. And he goes to a place that he knows only you know. We've been scattered, we can't keep in contact, it's been too dangerous, but we still have a drop where we can exchange messages. And it's probably like a post office box that we all have like a key to or something like
Is there
that.
a pigeon on it?
Maybe there's a little pigeon sticker on
Yeah.
it. Or
Yeah,
maybe it's called
sticker.
pigeon
That sounds
post or
cool.
something like that.
That's cute.
Yeah.
And
Pigeon post.
he slots the 3 letters into the mailbox and closes it and then walks out. And as we follow him walking towards a spaceport, we get to hear him read the letter out loud, and it says, "Dear cousin, I have heard of a marvelous place. A planet where half of it receives no sun at all. Care to come join me?" And then, yeah.
That's so
I hope
good.
to see you soon. My flit, love, Italy.
Oof. Thank you. Oof.
I had to leave on an uplifting note. I had to.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love how you took the prompt, "The walls come tumbling down," and made it into an uplifting prompt. I love that. Oh, that was so good. Okay. The end. How are we feeling?
Good.
Feels
That was
good.
amazing.
It's good to be a vampire.
Well,
I-
you wouldn't know.
I think it's good to be an Alexul.
Yeah.
You got some crazy powers.
Yes.
I had so much fun with this. I enjoyed being vampires with you all.
Mm-hmm.
This was
That was-
good. This is later than I would have liked, to be perfectly honest. So
Yes.
I would love to
Yep.
just jump over to some outros. Lavender, why don't you start?
Sure. Hey, I'm Lavender. I'm working on a bunch of different game design projects now. I've got Central Directive that I'm working on with a new friend that I made. That's a game where it's blackjack and it's spies. And normally I am not into the spy genre at all, but we're making such cool mechanics. It's that game's really amazing. Another one I'm doing is I'm designing a different system to run Harvest Valley in. That's also surprisingly getting close to finished.
Hmm.
Wow.
And I'm starting on Consumed Again, the rework of that, but that's only barely gotten started. That's me, Dark Lavender
Cool.
Void, on Twitter.
Golden, how about you?
Find me on twitch.tv/Golden WH or Twitter at Haunted Sky with two H's. Uh, Pretty soon that name will mean something, I hope. And I got some life things I'm dealing with, but eventually I'll be back to streaming on Twitch and making role playing games. You can see my Oregon Trail things here on Kelsa's channel, and also maybe we'll see Firebrand's Hack with Magical Girls. We'll see.
Yeah. I love me some Firebrand's hacks.
It's good. takes three things. First, it takes Astani's making fun of me because everything I do is Magical Girls. Two, it takes the thing I really feel is true is that hope and despair are very closely related.
Hmm.
And three, it's from like all of you and our experiences with Firebrands, and I put all that in the game. So I'm
Aw.
Awesome.
really happy to get to show it to you.
Yeah, totally. And Estini, how about you?
I am Astani. I have my own Twitch channel over on twitch.tv/Astani, where I do variety streams and art streams. You can also check out my art over at patreon.com/Astani, or if you want to buy anything, redbubble.com/people/Astani. That's it for me.
You can buy cool things like this cell phone case.
Yeah.
It's so nice. Hello everyone, I'm Kelsa. This is my channel. You can find me on Twitch and YouTube, Kelsa Delphi. On Twitter, it's just at Kelsa. I play role-playing games on the internet. In addition to Monday nights doing we're going to do a series of one-offs for the next few weeks. In addition, I have Saturdays, Republic City by Night, which is, gosh, we only have one more episode this season, don't we?
Apparently
no.
so.
Yeah.
I love it so much. I don't want it to end, though. I have so many more things I want to do.
I know. It's so good. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Anyway, Republic City by Night is Forge in the Dark. That's the word. Forge in the Dark.
It's also powered.
It's powered by Forge in the Dark. Game about the Legend of Korra universe. Takes place in Republic City before Legend of Korra show did, by about 5 years.
5.
I'm on top of things. Look, I need to go eat food and
Yes,
sleep.
you do.
Both of those things. It's real late. Anyway, I need a dog cam.
Where's the dog?
There's a dog. Hi,
What's
dog. I love you, dog.
Woof.
Anyway, yes, on Thursdays I am the GM over on Party Wipe Games. We're playing a Scum and Villainy game called Packet Loss. I love that game. I'm looking forward to it. We missed it last week, but I'm definitely looking forward to playing this week. So you can catch me there. You can follow me on Twitter if you want to find about stuff. I'm also been doing a bunch of art. This is February. I've been doing Febuoc, which is 1 OC per day, starting with a different letter of the alphabet, and then I got three free spaces at the end of the month because this is a leap year. So I decided that I'm going to spend them. One is a character that has no name. One is the character that has the most aliases, and the last one is a character that isn't even my character.
Okay.
It's a character that belongs to everybody. Anyway, thank you all for coming out. Have a good night. I'm going to kick us over to some beautiful music. These lovely overlays were done by Lavender, which I appreciate very greatly. And yeah, we're gonna get out of here.